Primal Fear, an absolute classic of an overhaul mod. I have 100 days to complete this entire mod, but there's a catch. You see this man right here? This is Natural Causes, another YouTuber. He's taken control and tamed all the bosses from Primal Fear. And on day 100, he's coming to destroy me and everything I own, unless I can defeat every single one of his boss minions before he arrives on day 100. Each boss that I defeat before he arrives is another boss that he cannot bring to fight me. Can we work through this entire mod and become powerful enough to defeat Natural Causes and his boss army? Or will I be obliterated from this world? Well, let's find out. Welcome to my 100 days in ARK Survival Evolves Primal Fear. Welcome homies and homettes to another ARK modded adventure. We are playing on the map Lost Island. We wake up on a beach and spot two rather large creatures, aka your mum. Don't step on me, please. Oh, they're angry. I don't think they like that joke. We respawned close to where we had perished previously, but this time turn and head the other way. Maybe I shouldn't have spawned at the same spot. Maybe we should not have spawned here, but I look around and notice that there's nothing else along this beach. So I take this moment to collect a bunch of resources, which gives us a few basic levels. I'm surprised we're still alive. Yes, you'll soon realize in Primal Fear, it's kind of hard to stay alive, especially at the start, because even some of the most seemingly innocent dinos will want you dead. And yes, some of the dodos in this mod are kind of ridiculous. They give bombs. They drop bombs. Yeah, bro. They drop nuka dodos. Yeah. Is that what they called? Oh, I love that. Oh, whoa. We managed to escape the exploding big dodo, but then we ran into this. Oh, crap. No, Pego. Fuck. Primal Fear, everybody. This is it. I expected that we were going to die quite a bit. So right now I just focused on getting some easy cheesy levels by crafting a whole bunch of our chibis. I then managed to craft our very first tool, the stone pickaxe. Start bashing some rocks that I thought would give me some resources, but they weren't actually resource rocks. Damn, which rocks can I break? How long has it been since I played this game? With some flint acquired, I could then make a stone hatchet. I also managed to make this primal spear as well. It's like a normal spear, but it deals torpor damage. I then gathered some wood with our new stone hatchet, and then I engaged in our very first fight against this red Dilo. This fight didn't go how I expected. I managed to knock it out, which basically secures the win. Turns out that this Dilo was actually an Apex variant, which is 3 tiers up from vanilla. So yeah, already day 1 and I'm taking out Apex creatures. I'm pretty much the king of Primal Fear. Look, Primal Raptors are a lot tougher, okay? I really think we got to start taking this a little bit more serious. I crafted up some tools and then some spears, which includes this reusable spear as well that I go out to use to bully some of these smaller creatures. After skinning these creatures alive, I turn their skin into some bowlers. You know what's funny to look at? A compy filled with spears. I was now on a mission to try and tame something. Something that can help us progress. Maybe something like this parasaur. What level are you? Parasaur might actually be a good little starter. Now, typically stabbing this in the face is a bad idea, but remember, this is the primal spear, so it helps us put it to sleep quickly. I fed this parasaur its favorite berries, Mayho berries, waited for a short moment, and it became our best friend. Next, I placed the saddle straight on its back and got to work gathering some much needed and important berries. I went into the thick jungle to collect some more berries. I figured there was going to be more there. This might have been a mistake. That looks like a carnivorous. There's glow. There's a glow in the distance. Nope. Ah, we're dead. That's the origin. Move. 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 We are DED. No. I'm stuck. No! Homies, homettes. Have you ever wondered how to code? I have. I got kind of really curious and went down the rabbit hole and tried to learn. But the YouTube tutorials I saw online were really confusing. And I wasn't about to spend upwards of $20,000 in 4 years of my life trying to get a degree. But that's where today's sponsor, Boot.dev, comes in with the perfect solution. You see, with Boot.dev, you can learn back-end web development in the Python and Go program languages. Best thing about them, and this is something that my ADHD brain needs, is they make learning more fun. How exactly do they make that fun? Let me tell you. You see, Boot.dev is an RPG game. Yes, it's an RPG game where you learn coding. Crazy. I know, but hear me out. In this game, you earn experience points, gain levels, you can earn achievements, you can even complete quests. You do all of this while you're competing to climb the ladder of their global leaderboards. One thing people don't realize right now is that programmers and coders are earning upwards of $100,000 per year. Guys, technology is used in almost every facet of today. These skills are the skills of the future. But if you're like me and you get a little bit stuck, thankfully there's this AI bear wizard that helps you answer some of your questions. He's pretty helpful and he doesn't judge me when I ask silly questions. Guys, I cannot believe boot.dev is allowing me to do this. But to all of my viewers, yes you, not only will you be saving money and time from a lengthy university course, I can give you a code that will give you 25% off your first purchase at boot.dev. Go ahead, do it. Click my link in the description. You already know what to do. Go ahead, sign up to boot.dev, learn valuable skills that you know will take you far. I'm doing it. Who knows? I might rebuild ARK. I might fix all the problems. We know there's lots. Boot.dev, thank you guys so much for sponsoring this video. Day 2, we woke up on a different part of the map, started punching some trees to get some more resources, craft the essential tools, and try and get a proper start this time. I went to take down this Phiomia so I could get some easy hide, but its toxic friend came in to back it up. What is that? We respawned nearby and was able to collect our gear quite easily. Psych, the toxic Phiomia was still there. They're like aggressive? This Phiomia was ruthless. It wouldn't leave us alone. In our next life, we managed to get our stuff back, but decided to run further away from where we think the toxic Phiomia is. Our mission right now is to try and get a starter base set up, which is why we're collecting a whole bunch of resources. I figured this area would be a nice area to set up. If there's a cave there might be some other resources like crystal or metal. I had crafted up a couple foundations and found this nice little place to start setting up. Unfortunately, there was a fjord hawk nearby and it didn't like me moving into its territory. To prove that I'm the apex predator in this game, I was determined to live here. Look, we're not the apex predator now, but we will be, okay? I managed to get to my little base area safely and start setting this place up. Just a little 3x3 base will do for now. We're not really safe until we can get enough resources to actually enclose this base in. God damn it! We're gonna need to enclose this rather quickly. Did I make a mistake building here? I think I did. I think I did make a mistake, yes. My stubbornness sometimes does get the best of me. Anyways, inside this cave, we did find some crystal. There were no metal nodes, but I'm sure we'll find it eventually. There were no fjord hawks near my dead body on my base, so I quickly ran over and was able to finish building this place. Alrighty, we're safe, chat. We're safe. With our base fully enclosed, I made this storage box to store all of our valuable resources. Try and get ourselves a bit of hide. Yes, we should get ourselves some hide so we can make ourselves a bed and we have a respawn point. All right, I'll get some crystal while we're here. Might as well. It's not hide, but crystal's a good resource to have. Day 3, we found our first victim. A somewhat helpless turtle. Turtle killing montage incoming. And I mean somewhat helpless because if it did catch us, it would probably wreck us. But it's just not going to catch us. I arrived back at my base and I realized that door's kind of high, so we placed down some stairs to get in. Next step on our progress journey was to get down this refining forge so we can start getting some cooked up metal. We managed to score ourselves enough metal to get us started. Then we found this giant beaver dam. I don't see any beavers there. Look at YOLO. Oh shoot, it's coming. For once, we were able to outrun our enemy and get back to base safely. This was also quite a healthy amount of cementing paste as well. With some metal cooked up, we could now place down this smithy with the intention of crafting some metal tools. I was able to make a metal hatchet, but I didn't have enough hide to make a metal pickaxe. There was a parasaur right outside our base. This was going to be risky because I didn't have a bowler on me, and somehow it's invincible. Of course, it would run and we had to chase it down. The most invincible parasaur I've ever seen in my life. The amount of unregistered hits on this parasaur was kind of ridiculous. Like, dude, it looked like a freaking hedgehog at this point. We finally took it down, and with our metal hatchet, we got a lot of hide and was now able to make ourselves a metal pickaxe. Of course, metal tools harvest resources a lot quicker, and you tend to get a lot more as well, which makes our lives a lot easier. Our next basic step was to get down a mortar and pestle. This way we could start crafting up some narcotics and actually start taming some helpful dinos. I think a great dino that I could get right now would be something that could deal with these fjord hawks. Sometimes you can still hit them through the wall. Yeah, like that. It's an elder though, so probably not gonna win that one. I couldn't leave my base until I dealt with this elder fjord hawk. I wonder if I can bowler it. A bowler could be a good option, except we don't have enough fiber to make it. Fiber! I thought maybe if I invited him inside for a cup of tea, he'd be friendly. He wasn't. He was very rude. I invited this field hawk inside and he started breaking my entire base. I managed to get some fiber to make a bowler, but I don't think it worked very effectively. Instead, I just had to stand here and try and take it down by throwing spears in its face. Somehow this managed to work. We managed to have enough resources laying around that I could replace some of the stuff that was broken. Next, I managed to make ourselves a reusable grapple hook and an awesome spyglass. Both will now aid us in our attempt to tame something. Of course, we can't have a grapple hook without a parachute. I'm currently on the hunt for a vanilla pteranodon. We managed to spot one along the beach, but it was only a level 50. I want something a little bit higher level. With nothing around our local area, I then returned back to base. I'm gonna need some oil eventually, so I went into the ocean to see if there was some oil nodes kind of close by. Using the grapple hook to help me propel through the water, I was able to move kind of quickly. I didn't find any oil, but we found a bunch of silica pearls quite close to shore. Wait, what? A shallow silica pearls? These can be used to craft into some endgame items and also turn into electronics eventually. Day 4 and I realized I'm pretty desperate. That level 50 pteranodon's gonna have to do. We're 4 days into this challenge already and we haven't really made enough progress for me to be satisfied. Also, just as I was about to knock this PT out, this happened. Oh, it's gonna be a race. Motherfucker. We weren't skilled enough to take out the pteranodon, but we are skilled enough to take out the poor helpless dodo. We need dodos now so we can start collecting eggs from them, because we need eggs to craft the kibble in order to tame the creatures in primal fear. With our new dodo friend in hand, we return back to base. We really need to get our butts into gear and progress. A pteranodon's really going to help us with that progression. So I went out to go and chase down this level 50 again. I couldn't find a safe place to be able to knock it out, because down there on the ground were some pretty dangerous dinos that would probably kill it or me. So we just had to continue our search, hoping that there was something else around. There was a PT here, but this is a fabled variant, and we can't make fabled kibble just yet. I went down to the beach because typically this is where you'll find a PT, except the elder fieldhawk found me. Bro, I just saw fieldhawks all around. I crafted up some narcotics knowing that this would probably help us a lot more when it comes to knocking a PT out. So next I crafted up a crossbow, some normal arrows that are then turned into some trank arrows. Not many. We could only make like 3. I also made a primal spear as well, just in case we're going to need it. Along the beach, we managed to come across this level 135 pteranodon. I wrapped this bowler right around its ankles. All right, baby. Then I shot it a couple times to put it to sleep. I kind of forgot the meat to tame this pteranodon. I did manage to find this moss chops nearby, which sacrificed itself so we could have a better life. I fed the pteranodon this magical moss chops meat, and now we wait for it to become our best friend. Just about to tame, and then this happened. No! No! That's so disappointing. We're back at square one. That is so disappointing. That would have been a really good tame. Day 5, and I realized we added this mod to our playthrough, the Creature Finder Deluxe mod. So we can basically find any creature we need. With this, I was able to find the perfect pteranodon that we could go and hunt down and tame. Most of the decent ones weren't kind of close though. The closest highest level one was this level 90, which this time I made sure to tame this correctly. I bowled it around its ankles and shot it directly in the head with my tranks. I checked the local area to see if there was anything dangerous in sight that could possibly kill this pteranodon. No aggressive anything's around here. This is actually not too bad. This area looks rather promising. I fed the pteranodon the meat, now we just wait. Our pteranodon had tamed, and we already had a pteranodon saddle ready for this exact moment. We had finally hit the skies. A little later in the playthrough than I would like, but we hit the skies nevertheless. Now our mission was to scope out this map. I'd never really played on Lost Island before, so I wanted to kind of have a good look around. I also wanted to look for the perfect forever base location. The problem is this pteranodon has just as good a stamina as a pack-a-day smoker. Are we out of stam already? This dude is unfit. I would often forget about the stamina issues and needed to really look out for things like this. It's probably a good idea to stay as high up in the sky as possible and look for nice safe locations that we could land to regain our stamina. We spent the entire rest of this day just looking around the map. It can be hard to decide on the perfect base location when the map is this damn big. Bro, is that just all ovises? We did manage to find a whole flock of ovises, and these are perfect for taming vanilla carnivores. Well, their raw mutton meat is, and killing one gives us a whole bunch. It's now day 6 and we're still on the hunt for our forever base location. I kind of like the idea of living in this plains type area, and this is primal fear, so living up high is probably a good idea. I decide on building right here. So to get started, I start clearing out all this area from all the rocks and trees. Then I place down our first foundations. I can't build this entire thing just yet. So for now, I place down this storage box so I could store some of our stuff. Next, we head back to our starter base so we can pick up some of our crafting benches and resources that are there. Oh, what is that? Whoa! Yeah. This was a mistake. We soon learned that this necrotic dodo is quite dangerous. And just like an annoying 14-year-old Call of Duty player, it's spawn camping us. I had to try my best to try and get this necrotic dodo away from my base, just so I can get my stuff. I knew I was going to die a couple times, but all I wanted to do was just lead it away. As I respawned, I noticed a Maywing coming closer to us. Hey! It was Alfred, one of my subscribers. He came over to visit, and whilst he was here, I've created an alliance. First, I had to make my own tribe. Of course, I named it Dodo Gang. You know, like my wonderful merch that you can buy with the link down below. But Alfred already invited me to his alliance called Necrotic Sucks, and it surely does. All of a sudden, the Necrotic Dodo started chasing Alfred. I took this as my opportunity to get back into my base safely. We were able to get our stuff back, but it was kind of messed up looking at our dead previous bodies. Anyways, I need another PT ASAP. So I crafted up some more arrows, some more trank arrows, grappled up to the roof of our building, and got our PT saddle back. They're hella expensive to make at this early game, so I kind of can't make another one right now. Managed to find this level 25 Pteranodon. It's pretty terrible, but it's gonna have to do. We really just need something to get us back to our next base location. This thing woke up, but its stamina is so damn bad, we couldn't even make it back to the new base. This thing's slower than the release of any ARK 2 news. Day 7, and I definitely need a better PT than the one we have. We located this 140 on the map and went to hunt it down. This was a pretty textbook tame. We knock it out, we feed it the raw mutton that we got earlier, and we wait a short while. But while waiting, we went out and we found this beaver dam. Bro, these beaver dams are like everywhere. Lost Island's pretty good for these beaver dams. Of course, we're going to take this because cementy paste is a great resource to get. Once we returned, this PT was fully tamed up. Of course, I swapped out this other PT that we had. We'd made some soul balls. Since it only requires 1 crystal to make them, I placed this low-level PT in the soul ball, placed the saddle on our brand new one, and hit the skies. Stamina is quite an issue, but it is only a vanilla, freshly tamed Pteranodon. After seeing Alfred jumping around on his Maywing, I wanted to go and tame myself one as well. I've never really used Maywings before, so I was kind of interested. I tried bowlering it and learned quickly that doesn't work. No Maywing, but we went into the snow. Why? Because I just wanted to check this place out. Again, I haven't really explored Lost Island before, so I'm not too familiar with it. But then I'm quickly reminded that we are playing Primal Fear. Great, Megapithecus, and we're about to run out of stamina. Yes, this is a very bad place to run out of stamina. You would think after years of playing this game and multiple times playing Primal Fear, I would know better, right? That's annoying. We had lost our Pteranodon, but we did have a backup. Only problem is we didn't have enough chitin to actually make a saddle. No saddle. And don't have the means to make a saddle. I also couldn't do much whilst I was at this location, so I had to go punch an alpha stego in the butt and get sent to the afterlife. This was so I could spawn back at our other base. And it was here that I'd have to make a bunch of tools once again, since we lost them all to the Chaos Megapithecus earlier. Thankfully though, I had enough resources at this base to make another Pteranodon saddle, but the Pteranodon was at the other base, so we had to try and find a way to get there. Of course, the good old parachute and grapple hook method is the best way to get there with what we have. We made it back to our new base safely with our Pteranodon saddle and new tools. Now we could fly once again on this really bad Pteranodon, but we're still flying, so it's good. I had enough resources to make ourselves a smithy and a refining forge, and with that available, we went to go find these metal nodes that were kind of behind our base. It was only a short run away. We ran over here, mined up a whole bunch of metal, brought it back to base so it could start cooking up in our new refining forge. Then I learned the engram to make a Maywing saddle. Yes, I really do want a Maywing. Everyone that I know seems to love them, and they spawn pretty close to our base just in these highlands over here. Problem is, taming them's kind of difficult. I shoot it once, and it escapes. This trip wasn't all for nothing though. There was this purple drop nearby and we got some pretty decent stuff from it. Oh, it's actually good stuff. I managed to find this level 60 Maywing, and again I just tried to knock it out, see what would happen. I shot it once and then it jumped away, but this time I chased it down. Come on. Can't still be awake, are ya? I managed to get to it again and then I knocked it out. There we go. While I waited for it to tame up, we went to this green drop with a ring around it. It had a bunch of water pipes and stuff, but the only valuable things really were the trank arrows and the normal arrows. Once I returned to the Maywing, it was fully tamed up. Day 8, I went to craft a Maywing saddle, but we didn't have enough metal. And to speed things up a little bit, I crafted up another refining forge, because 2 refining forges are better than 1. Maywing saddle acquired, we could now ride this big platypus. I took off into the air and quickly realized I actually don't know how to fly this thing. Wait, you know, I actually don't know how to ride a Maywing. I don't know the buttons. I just realized, oh shoot. With the help of my Twitch chat, I was able to learn this kind of quickly. And in no time, we were gliding all over the place and body slamming bushes for berries. Maywings are certainly a lot of fun, but I'm still no expert on flying them. Whilst we had it though, we returned back to our first starter base, so we could now pick up all the things that we had intended on picking up earlier when the Necrotic Dodo was around and killed our Pteranodon and us. I brought all of this stuff back to base, including the Primal Smithy, which we obviously used to craft all the Primal Fear items. Everything else that we did didn't pick up at the other base, we could just craft again, like this mortar and pestle. I now wanted to try and find a way to get some oil, and the only places I could think that I could get some was in the snow or possibly in the volcano area. Again, my Twitch chat can be quite helpful at times. They let me know about this area in the volcano that has these rocks that are oil rocks. I wanted the oil so that I could craft this soul terminal, but I need polymer. Now, do we make the polymer or do we try and get some organic polymer from some creatures? I don't know, but we'll figure it out soon. For now, I crafted up this meat spoiler. If you don't know what a meat spoiler does, well, then you're an idiot. It spoils meat. And spoiled meat is what we need to combine with narco berries to create narcotics. Look, everything's a big process in this game, and we need to expand our base because our crafting area needs the extra space. A couple extra layers on the outside, I think we're making good progress. And if you've watched my videos before, you kind of know what kind of base I'm making. This is the basic layout that we're going to use. But it's already day 9. We can't keep wasting time just on building a base. I went out to the wilds and I came across someone else's base. I'm pretty sure that was Mr. Pineapple's base. We now find ourselves over at the desert. It's quite the ways away, but we needed to come over here to try and fight some mantises because they're probably the easiest creature that I could possibly kill that drops polymer. Problem is, our little Maywing here isn't very strong. The mantis was kicking our butt. Okay. Let's just go get some obsidian and get out of here. Yes, I think the next best thing is maybe just to craft the polymer instead of trying to get it off a creature. We're just not strong enough yet. Of course, on my travels around the island, I got stuck. I'm really not great at flying this Maywing. Later on, I kind of figured it out, and now we're zooming. We're heading back to the volcano biome so we can try and find some obsidian. Do I know exactly where to find it? No, not at all, but I assume it's here somewhere. It's really dark this night, so of course finding obsidian's kind of hard. I was curious to see what would happen if I try and mine these things. Oh, it's oil. Huh. That's interesting. The sun then began to rise and we could finally find ourselves some obsidian. Kind of in a sketchy spot considering that creature right there would absolutely murder us. Ooh, that was so close. That would have one-shot me. That was certainly a close call, but we don't have enough obsidian just yet. We can't leave. I managed to find some more and this location seems a little bit safer. I hope. Managed to collect a whole bunch of obsidian. Well, a little bit. I didn't want to be greedy and hang around here. It's kind of dangerous. Back at base, we gathered everything we needed so we could make this S+ fabricator. We need this so that we can make our own polymer and electronics eventually. I also figured that it was probably time that we moved some of our crafting benches around. I wanted to put them in a place that's going to be more permanent. I then remembered in the primal smithy, we could make a primal forge. This thing cooks everything way quicker than the normal forge can. We whipped up a little bit of polymer and was finally able to make this soul terminal. Now, if you don't know what a soul terminal does, basically it's a place that we can hold all of our dinos whilst they're in their soul balls. And if that particular dino produces stuff passively, they'll produce it inside the soul terminal as well. Like a dung beetle can turn poop into fertilizer, acatinas can produce cementing paste, etc, etc. Speaking of fertilizer, I made these crop plots. It's a good idea to try and get crops growing early in Primal Fear, since you need all the different types of vegetables to craft the kibble so you can tame all the creatures in this mod. I did run into a slight problem though that I didn't really think of. I just realized, how the frick am I gonna get water up here? Day 10, I crafted this S+ crafting station. I was hoping these S+ water tanks were gonna help us find a solution to our watering situation for these crop plots, and they kind of did. Oh, wait, they just produce water. They just produce water no matter where they are. They don't have to be connected to a proper water source. As long as we add a pipe and a tap, it'll water our crop plots. This then solved that problem, but we did run into another problem. I want to make beer, which requires this beer barrel. But once I connected this all up, it didn't produce any water for our beer barrel. Like, it's even blue. I couldn't figure this problem out at all. I honestly don't get it. I tried maybe hooking up a normal beer barrel, not the S+ variant. This didn't work either. It had been raining, so we tried these water tanks. They're just normal ones. We connected it up with water pipes, and again, it wasn't irrigating it. Now, you might be wondering, why is beer so important? Well, beer is what I need to be able to power the S+ gardener that'll take care of all of our gardening needs for our crops. I gave up on the beer situation for now. We'll figure something out later. Instead, I went to go out and find a dung beetle. They spawn nearby, so this is quite convenient. Well, that was until I landed right next to one and saw a stego on fire, knowing very well I need to get my butt out of there. There's plenty other dung beetles on the map, and I'm not risking my life for that one. Now, this one on the side of this cliff is in a rather safe location, so I chucked some big poo down its throat, and it loved it. Now it's our friend. Now all I need to do is return back to base, place this dung beetle right in our terminal with all of our dinos producing poop, and eventually it'll turn all of that poop into fertilizer. In Primal Fear, it's always a really good idea to try and set things up early. It'll save you the hassle of waiting around for stuff to happen later on, like waiting for crops to grow, eggs to produce, fertilizer, all those kind of things. Mr. Pineapples ended up up coming over to try and assist with this issue that I'm having with these beer barrels. This ended up looking like quite the mess, but we find a solution later on. This isn't really going to be it for now. Day 11, and not only is it a new day in-game, but it's also a new day IRL. So that's why we have a whole bunch of crops that are ready, and it's also why our dung beetle has a whole lot of fertilizer produced. I don't think we're going to have to worry about fertilizer for quite a while. I had also changed around some mod settings as well. This way I can place down this water intake anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to be attached to water. This then solves our beer barrel problem. And once we finally connect up all of these pipes, say irrigated, we're in. With the berries and thatch inside the beer barrels, we now have beer producing. Our dodo had been producing some eggs, so we can now craft toxic kibble. We're now moving up in the world, so I can craft these potent trank arrows. They're like normal trank arrows, but more potent. I then went out to go and try and find the perfect thing to tame. Again, I kind of forget how to fly these things. Realize I don't have a spyglass. Indeed, I did forget a spyglass. So a quick pit stop back at base, and we're back on the way to try and tame our first modded creature. Of course, I had to take a pit stop at this beaver dam. It's free cementing paste. We found the perfect toxic creature. I mean, you'll lay eggs too, won't you? As long as it's a female, it should lay eggs, right? And I'm pretty sure dodos lay eggs at a higher rate. 300 torpor. This will be your first hit. Surely it goes down straight away. 2 hits. Did I miss that one? We managed to tame this toxic zombie dodo, our first toxic egg layer. Now we just got to get it back to base nice and safe. Bro, is that a chaos broodmother? Yep. It is. Chaos creatures let off an aura that damages you over time. And if your creature is quite weak, they die instantly. That's why it's sometimes better to try and get height on a flyer that can fly high. Maywing's gliding is kind of low. I keep an eye on the Chaos Broodmother to make sure it's far enough away that I can go get my stuff back. Now sure, the Broodmother's far away, but its little minions are close by. And I wasn't sure if they let off an aura or not. So to be safe, I flew to the top of this cliff here and just waited it out until it was safe enough to go back down and collect all of my stuff. When I got back to base, I saw a small chunky man on a random fjord hawk. It was Toaster Coaster coming to join the alliance. I hadn't actually made one yet. I joined another one earlier. So I made another alliance and named it Dodo Legion, then invited Toaster Coaster. Day 12, I saw that we had some toxic eggs in our soul terminal. So with that, I went to go see exactly what I needed to be able to make alpha kibble. Now everything else I can get pretty easily. It's just a toxic blood, that's going to be an issue. I need something that can actually kill toxic creatures. Now, I don't know if it can kill anything, but I still want another Maywing. There was a level 150 nearby, so I went to go tame it. And this time I'm using a trapping method, the good old metal billboard. I think we did it. Okay, well this is kind of scuffed. I've never trapped a Maywing before and never used this billboard technique. It works quite well. I think I like this little method. And since we're using raw mutton to tame this Maywing, it tamed pretty quickly. Next, I went to go craft a Maywing saddle, but I didn't have enough hide. There was a level 15 stego right behind my base. I figured maybe if I knock it out, I could harvest its body for hide. Maybe I was a little overconfident. Maybe I forgot that it has damage reduction. But this fight got a little bit sketchy at times. In the end, I just proved that I'm a better man. I honestly didn't have what it takes to be able to kill it in a one-on-one fight. So instead, I decided to Bill Cosby it. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Now we have a saddle for our brand new Maywing. Even though I had a flyer, I wanted a Maywing for another reason. You can body slam bushes to get lots of berries. Not only was I trying to get a bunch of narco berries, I also needed veggie seeds as well, like long grass, citronal, and savaroot. We already had rock carrot. With all of the veggie seeds collected, I went and started planting them in our crops. Next, I placed down this S+ gardener. She'll go ahead and collect all of the crops that grow. Well, that's as long as I power her. And to power her, I gotta give her some beer. Who would have thought the best way to get productivity up is to give your workers alcohol? Day 13, we find ourselves back over at the volcano area to stock up on some important resources. You know, like oil, obsidian, crystal, all that kind of stuff. Back at base, I crafted up the architect bench. This is a modded item that I can use that helps us build our base a lot easier and way more efficiently. I don't quite have all the resources to complete my base just yet, but I do have enough to make these greenhouse ceilings, so at least my crops will get the full greenhouse effectiveness. I looked again to see exactly what I needed to be able to make this alpha kibble, and all I need right now is toxic blood. Toxic blood and citronal. I came over to the swamp area thinking that I'd find myself one of these guys, a little toxic Phiomia. I kind of thought that this might be the perfect thing that I could try and fight and take out so I can get some blood. Using my perfectly timed Maywing's body slam attack, we were able to eliminate this toxic Phiomia, then harvest its body for some toxic hide and toxic blood. I raced straight back to base with this toxic blood, but before I make an alpha kibble, I want to make this toxic narcotic because it's a lot more effective than the potent narcotic. And since we're at the alpha tier, we're going to need something a lot stronger to be able to knock out some of these creatures. So we move to the darts now. now. And yes, I did decide that it's probably a good idea to move to the darts, which means we need to make ourselves the long neck and the required trank darts. I was streaming on Twitch at the time, and there's an option for you to be able to name my dinos. So somebody named my Maywing Milkwing. If you know, you know. Anyways, in our mortar and pestle, I crafted up a whole bunch of spark powder that I'll then turn into gunpowder, that I'd have to make simple rifle ammo that I turn into this empty casings, then finally turn into the toxic darts. It's a whole process, trust me. It's a lot of work, but worth it. Next, I checked the Creature Finder Deluxe to try and find ourselves a female alpha creature, specifically so it could start laying eggs so we can move to the next tier afterwards. I figured a high-level alpha pteranodon would be perfect. Not only can we use it as a flyer, but it will also lay eggs for us. So it's like a 2-for-1 special. I just got to find a safe place to try and knock this thing out so that nothing will eat it once it's down or blow it up. Wow. I got a funny feeling it's not safe to land. When I finally felt that it was safe enough for us to land, I went down and fed this alpha pteranodon the kibble that it requires. And just like that, we had tamed ourselves a level 150 alpha pteranodon. I made it back to base on day 14. I was pretty excited because we got a brand new PT. I wanted to test it out straight away. Problem is, I don't currently have enough resources to be able to make a saddle for it. You need a lot of alpha hide. So instead, I placed it in the soul terminal so it can produce us some alpha eggs. Then I craft up some more alpha kibble and look for an alpha therizino. A high level alpha theri could be perfect for us right now. We can use it to gather a whole bunch of resources, and they're also strong enough to be able to take out a bunch of dinos so we can collect their hide and blood as well. The Lost Island map is filled with this thick jungle, and sometimes finding the dinos in here and maneuvering around the area is kind of tricky. But also, sometimes the dinos get stuck in between some trees and give you the perfect opportunity to knock one out. Well, that is until it gets unstuck and starts chasing you, ready to murder you. Please don't make it up here. Oh, I'm dead. Fuck. When I respawned, I placed this thing down. This is the awesome teleporter. Why is this so important? Well, basically, once you have this, you can retrieve your corpse from wherever it is in the world and get all of our stuff back. I was running kind of low on trank darts when I was trying to knock out the alpha theri, so I had to replenish my stock. But I'm determined as ever to go and tame it. So we're heading on back. Psych, no we're not, we're dying. You know what's annoying? The fog on some of these maps. And this little thing right here prevents the fog. Yeah, this is the part of the Mr. Fister fog removing mod thingy. It's great. Anyways, we're back on our old PT, trying to go track down this alpha therizino once again. This time making sure to fly high enough to try and avoid any issues we might have on the ground. I also came here with some metal billboards to try and trap it, which we seem to have done quite successfully. Well, that was until it turned around and left. God damn it. You're gonna come back. You're gonna want to come back. We've got the theories run away because they're little bitches. We really need to tame this theory. It'll be really handy for our progression. We chased it down through this jungle only to find it right next to a demonic parasaur. That thing will one-shot everything in the vicinity if it gets a little bit angry. The theory was once again trapped in between some trees, so I took this opportunity to trap it even further with some billboards. But just like Icarus, I got a little bit too close to the sun, or the alpha therizino in this case. Day 15 and I'm more determined than ever to get this alpha therizino. We start racing on back to go and get it, and then this happens. Unfortunately, that was my last flyer. So before even thinking about taming that alpha therizino, I need to get something that I can fly on and put a saddle on. Now you might be wondering, why am I trying to get this alpha pteranodon? Well, it's a male. I'm gonna breed it with our female that we currently have, and then we can get a whole bunch of babies and slaughter them for their hide and make saddles. Saying that out loud makes me sound super messed up, but it's kind of what you need to do in this game. Oh, and bowlers don't work on alpha PTs. It's a myth. Have you ever been chased by giant spiders? I have. I'm Australian. But you can also do that in ARK. Oh, but you don't need to worry about the giant spiders. You might get taken out by primal tech raptors instead. I've had comments in the past saying that I'm really good at playing ARK. They obviously haven't watched any of my videos. Obviously, I'm freaking terrible. I managed to find these 2 other alpha pteranodons near my base. Now, this 145 male could have been perfect, but I decided to go for this level 60 instead. Now, why would I possibly choose the level 60 only? Well, since I couldn't bowler it, I figured maybe if I got the perfect shot to the head, I could one-shot it to sleep. Whilst I waited for the other PT to tame up, I wanted to try a theory that I had. With this PT, I wondered if I could trap it with the billboards. Trust me, I was surprised this worked too. We do got it. And we managed to knock this one out as well. That certainly makes things a little bit more interesting now, doesn't it? The lower level PT had fully tamed up, so we put that in a soul ball. And a few minutes later, this 145 woke up. I was feeling a little confident and thought maybe if I trapped this alpha equus, I could kill it, get its hide, and make a saddle for our pteranodons. Yeah, this didn't work. I respawned back at base, placed out both of these PTs, and gave them some privacy while they did that lovely time. Boom. First little eggy. First little eggy. I then got out this single low-level pteranodon. Kids, close your eyes. We had no need for this anymore since we got a higher level male anyway. And yes, there wasn't enough hide for us to be able to make an alpha saddle. Instead, we're going to have to hatch up a couple of these babies and then harvest them for the hide. Oh, I got twins in one of them. I deleted these babies from existence, but when I harvested their bodies, we didn't get very much hide from them at all. Bro, I'm getting no hide from them. Did I do this too early? Did I make a mistake? I did indeed make a mistake. Of course, if they're bigger, they're going to give us more hide. It's just obvious, right? Someone in my Twitch chat suggested that I make a chainsaw. This will then give me more hide every time I harvest the corpse. For now, we're just going to continue letting these babies breed and hatch. It's now day 16, and yeah, we've had a little bit of a rocky start so far, but we are making progress, slowly but surely. Having a whole bunch of these backup pteranodons, because they seem to keep dying, is going to help us get through this. Oh, and the fact that we basically have an unlimited source of alpha hide and alpha blood now is a great thing as well. Oh yeah. That gave us everything we needed. We have enough resources to make this alpha pteranodon saddle, so of course we hit the skies on one of our alpha pteranodons. This was a massive upgrade from anything that we've had previously. It has almost limitless stamina and it hits things pretty damn hard. We now have a fighting chance against most creatures from alpha tier downwards. I even decided to take on an alpha bronto. It took us a little while chewing at its butt, but we managed to take this thing down. Being that it's a rather large mama, we managed to get a whole bunch of resources from it. Now that we've settled back in and got ourselves a flyer, it's time to go and tame this alpha therizino once again. It already had some torpor damage to it and was still stuck in between these trees. So after a whole bunch of trank darts spent, we managed to knock it out. I then fed it its alpha kibble and we had tamed the alpha therizino. But also while we were taming this, I decided to tame this alpha iguanodon as well. This will actually be an important tame in the future, but I'll explain why a little later. Day 17 and our brand new alpha therizino is ready to get to work. After getting our butt kicked from a lot of the creatures in this game, it's time to go get our revenge and start bullying all of them. We even managed to take down this apex hyenodon, which is a few tiers above alpha tier. Now, one of the main reasons I got this alpha therizino was so that it could help me get rare flowers and rare mushrooms. After searching through YouTube tutorials, we found out that there's some rare flowers on this little island right here. I then pumped a whole bunch of levels into delicate harvesting on our therizino and delicately started harvesting these rare flowers. After harvesting this entire island of all of its flowers, we stocked up on 1,800 of them. Now it's time for us to head on over to the swamp area, because at the swamp biome, that's where we can collect rare... Don't worry. Anyways, what I was saying, the swamp biome is where we can collect rare mushrooms. These mangrove-like trees is exactly what we need to harvest to get them. But being in this very thick mangrove shrubbery does come with its risks. So sketchy being in the swamp right now. I'm just like can't see properly, so just hoping that I'm not gonna hit something or the wrong thing, or oh my god, die. I didn't want to be too greedy. I grabbed exactly what I needed and then started heading back to base. Now the rare flowers and mushrooms are what we need to be able to make toxic narcotics, but to make toxic narcotics I need potent narcotics, and to make potent narcotics I need narcoberry seeds and tintoberry seeds, which is the whole reason why we tame this alpha iguanodon. It can turn fruit into seeds. Hey, there we go. And just like that, we can craft a whole bunch of potent narcotics that we could then turn into toxic narcotics. It's a whole process, I know. It's now day 18, and since we've been able to kill a bunch of creatures on our alpha therizino, I've been able to level up quite a bit, which means I could unlock a whole bunch of engrams, some that would be quite handy for us to progress. But there's also still a long way to go to be able to get to level 100. I've been having a lot of fun on the back of this alpha therizino, so we're back on it again, getting to work. In Primal Fear, being a murderous serial killer is a great way to get some easy resources and some crafted items like this. You can get a whole bunch of stuff that can help you in your journey. Now in the early game, if you want some really good loot, you've got to try and take down these fabled creatures. Now fabled dinos are 3 tiers above what we are currently. This one was kind of a weak one, and I was just gonna YOLO it and see what would happen. Okay, he hits pretty hard, but we hit fast. Give me all the juicy loot. When you manage to kill a fabled creature, you get a ton of loot. Yeah, loot. Yeah, loot. We ended up being close to our starter base location, and I remember that there's silica pearls down here, so I figured I'd take this opportunity to try and collect some. Day 19, and we find ourselves out in the snow biome so we can try and track down this alpha Anki. I find for Primal Fear, alpha tier is a great place to be able to get these utility dinos, as they have a lot more health, a lot more stamina, and then a lot more weight, which is ultimately what we need if we're collecting these heavier resources like stone and metal and stuff. That's why we're over here tracking down this alpha Doedicurus, but it's surrounded by some other scary, dangerous dinos that don't want us to be here. I didn't really want to have to fight. That wasn't the purpose of this. Even this terror bird wanted to fight us. Our pteranodon's pretty strong, so we were able to take it out. But this doed was curled up in a ball, so that makes it pretty hard to actually trank out. There was also this buffoon nameless down there, and I didn't really want that smoke, so we went on our way. Like Mama always says, there's plenty more fish in the sea. Check the surroundings before we dismount. Of course, this toxic terror bird wasn't too happy we were around. Everybody wants this smoke. I then started getting attacked by an electric parrot. Yes, they are a thing in Primal Fear. But I wasn't too worried. It gave me enough time to be able to feed the Doedicurus the kibble and this tame helper. I should have been more worried. In the end, it was fine. Everything was safe. We managed to get back to our PT and our brand new Doedicurus and collect them safely. I then flew to the top of this mountain so I could start collecting some resources. I wanted to start working on my base, so we're going to need a whole lot of stone. Problem is, I forgot something kind of important. Fuck. I come here, I was like, yeah, I'm going to start getting all the stuff that I need. Only to realize I don't have a saddle. So it's back to base we go. And you see that? Did you guys see that? Yeah. I didn't see it at the time. Up. Bro, how? Like, we weren't even close, dude. Yeah. Pain in the butt. And every time one of those alpha PTs dies, we lose a saddle. So, all of these PTs are out for, well, you guys know why. Their sacrifice was well worth it. And this time I did come back with a saddle for our Anki and our Doedicurus. Now it was time to go hard collecting a whole bunch of resources. Day 20, we got another visit from another person on the server. No, it's not Santa Claus, it's Nane. How the hell are you got origin gear already? Yeah, this person's a grinder. You've been killing origins already, dude? I'm glad they're on our side. I need honey, mainly because I want to tame an Achatina later. You know, the snails that produce cementing paste? And honey is one of the main ingredients that we need to be able to make veggie cake, which is what we use to be able to tame Achatinas. All right. Not wearing ghillie, so hopefully this works. Every ARK Pro knows that you should be wearing ghillie if you're trying to tame a queen bee. But I just straight up YOLO'd it, put the rare flowers in my hotbar, ran up to it, and shoved the rare flowers up its butt. This seemed to work. The last queen bee worked so successfully that I tried this again. This time it didn't work so well. If the bee has a yellow outline like this, it won't tame. And if you see a big creature like this with a red outline, run. If we stayed around here too long, we were definitely dead. I wanted to test a theory. Maybe the queen bee will passively produce honey in the soul terminal. If I put this in there, will it make the honey inside here? It's inside the soul terminal for now, so we'll just give it some time and see what happens. We can now tame elemental creatures. I really wanted myself a griffin. They're one of my favorite tames in the early game of any of these modded playthroughs. Because of the way they fly and the fact that you can shoot off the back of them, they help you tame things. But also the elemental griffins in Primal Fear are a lot of fun too. Taming this electric griffin turned out to be harder than I expected. You see, if they hit you like this, they'll dismount you. Oh, and they're so damn strong, they'll end you in an instant. Back at base, I prepared myself a griffin trap. I'm not going to give up taming this thing, no, not at all. But as I tried to find the perfect place to set up this trap, I remembered that this is Primal Fear. Nowhere's perfect. A cliffside is typically the best place for a trap, but when you hear explosions like that, you know that it's not safe. We're just going to have to face this head on. Hopefully my PT can protect us. Yeah, maybe I should have trapped it. I made it back to where we had died, and my electric griffin was fighting my pteranodon. But, yeah. What the frick? Remember how I said, I'm not going to give up and tame this thing? I'm not going to give up taming this thing. No, not at all. I gave up. It got too hard. As soon as that Chaos Bee was there, nope. There's no way we're going to be able to tame that. But there were a couple of these fabled creatures that we could take down so we could get the easy loot. But we were looking for one thing in particular. This thing right here. The Primal Fabricated Sniper. This Primal Fabricated Sniper will allow us to be able to trank out some tough dinos. And it's a lot stronger and way more accurate. Problem is, this thing right here is only a blueprint. We want the real thing. So day 21, our one and only mission was to try and kill as many of these fabled creatures until we get the real thing. We could make a primitive version, but it's always better to get something a little bit better, right? We continued hunting down these fabled creatures, but came up empty-handed. I took a quick break from this mission and crafted up a tree platform with some sap chaps. We're gonna need some sap eventually, so I figured it's probably time that we start extracting it from one of these trees now. This is a pretty standard thing that we do in all of our playthroughs right now. I had the blueprint for a Primal Fabricated Sniper Rifle, but it needs a whole lot of polymer. I came to the desert to set up an awesome teleporter, just so we had an easy way to get back here whenever we needed, because it's quite the distance away from our base. And from here, I went on the hunt for some mantises. Fabled Equus. Of course, if I stumbled across a fabled creature along the way, I'm going to take it out and try and get myself a Primal Fabricated Sniper. Oh, my theory's about to die. In this particular instance, we got our butt kicked. This theory almost died. We made it to the desert and then I started bashing these mantises in the face. Also, I could collect their valuable organic polymer. I had intended on using my Alpha Theory for this, but our PT was holding up quite well. Even still, I checked my Alpha Theory stats and noticed that it had healed up, and the Alpha Theory will harvest more polymer in the end anyway. There was no mantis in this desert that was safe. No, not at all. This hunt even continued on to the next day. Again, if we ran into a fabled creature, I had to take it out, but this one was a particularly good one. Got it. I got it. I think we got one. We got one. We got it. We have successfully acquired a fully crafted Primal Fabricated Sniper Rifle. It's only an apprentice, but it's better than primitive, so we're gonna take it. Now we have the Primal Fabricated Sniper Rifle. We're gonna need ammunition for it. It's a different type of ammunition, so I had to unlock the engrams for it as well. That's what we wanted, Apex bullets. Yes, indeed. Apex bullets are probably the best thing for us right now. But to make these bullets, I first need to craft Primal Rifle bullets, and they're going to require a lot of gunpowder, which I don't think our little mortar and pestle can really handle. I'm going to need to try and work towards making a chem bench. Spark powder and electronics. Of course, it's not that simple. We ran out of electronics, and we don't have enough materials to make it right now. Before we start collecting silica pearls for our electronics, I wanted to craft these things up. It's the Primal Food Cooker and the Primal Preserving Bin. The Primal Food Cooker is a place that you can cook some food that gives you buffs in the game, and the Primal Preserving Bin works like a normal preserving bin, but it can make meat jerky a lot quicker. In preparation for us to start crafting up a whole bunch of primal bullets, I went to this metal mountain to collect a whole bunch of metal. This Alpha Anki definitely comes in clutch when it comes to collecting metal. It feels like it has unlimited weight just because of how high tier it is. Now a couple thousand metal like this cooking up is really going to help us get to work. Next I learned the engrams for the scuba tank and scuba flippers. I go to craft them, but I can't craft the flippers because I actually need silica pearls to do that. It's okay though, we can make it work with just the scuba tank. We only really need enough silica pearls to make ourselves a chemistry bench anyways. We can come back later on if we need a lot more. Day 23 starts off with another metal run. We're gonna need a lot of metal if we want to progress, especially since electronics requires metal, bullets requires metal, and we're gonna need metal to work on our base. I also want all of our forges to always constantly be running. We now managed to have enough resources to make ourselves this S+ chemistry bench. Also, to run it, I'm gonna need a generator. So we have now entered the electricity stage. The generator can live right here, and the chemistry bench we're gonna place down nearby. Of course, this is ASE, so we actually have to wire this thing up. But just like that, we can now mass produce gunpowder. We had already collected a bunch of Apex blood from killing Apex creatures earlier, we can make a whole bunch of Apex narcotics. Then we could progress to the Apex strength bullets. Knowing that I want to start working on my base soon, I know I'm going to need a bunch of cementing paste. I made this cooking pot so I could see the recipe I needed to be able to craft the veggie cake. Well, what I'm missing. 1 honey, 4 sap, stimulant. I can make stimulant, surely. We need our beehive to generate a little bit more honey. There weren't many high-level elemental griffins on the map. The highest level one that we could find was this ice griffin. Honestly, I really wanted a high-level fire griffin, but if this is what we have to get, it's what we have to get. Knocking out and tranking things with this primal sniper rifle is so much easier than the long neck. Since they can hold 8 bullets in the magazine at once, and you don't have to worry about constantly reloading, and there's no drop-off in your aim when you shoot, it's just a beautiful sight. Where are you gonna land? Don't be too awkward. It's pretty awkward. It's alright, I got an idea. When creatures are stuck on the side of this mountain, it can be awkward to try and access their inventory to feed them the kibble. Obviously, I'm a genius, so this worked for us. Too easy, bruz. I named this griffin Samuel. Samuel. For now. I then went to go see what it could do. I've never really used ice griffins before. I find out pretty quickly that it doesn't hit very hard, but its ice attack is pretty decent, as it will completely freeze up our enemy in its tracks. So with this, we just go out and murder absolutely everything. Well, that was until we met our match. I had noticed that we didn't get a death notification for our griffin, so I raced straight back to where we had died, and our griffin was somehow still alive. The Apex Theory must have killed me off the back of it somehow. Day 24, and we're tracking down this electric featherlight so that we can get ourselves an elemental egg layer. I figured a featherlight would have been the easiest choice, but it was kind of difficult because it was kind of small. And when they're just intended to be egg layers, I don't go for the highest level. That was with 2 bullets left. I seriously underestimated this featherlight. I almost ran out of bullets. Doesn't really matter though, because in the end, we got this electric featherlight. Took it straight back home and placed it into the soul terminal to produce us some eggs. Next, I stocked back up on these primal rifle bullets. I considered making this primal industrial forge as well, but we are way off from being able to make it since we just don't have enough resources. I knew I was going to need some meat jerky eventually, so I went to the primal preserving bin to see exactly what I needed to be able to make it in that. Now, apparently, I need fire and ice feathers, which you get from fire and ice bird type creatures. Obviously. Parrots are probably our easiest target. Whilst I was out, one of my Twitch viewers decided to change the name of my griffin. He will now forever be known as Frost Talon. And Frost Talon was going to help us collect a whole bunch of feathers. Now, there is also a thing called advanced elemental creatures, like dark and light creatures. The thing is, when you kill dark and light creatures, they can drop any one of the elemental feathers, and sometimes multiple of them as well. I had arrived back at base with the ice and fire feathers. I put them in the primal preserving bin, but nothing happened. I thought maybe I need to add some spark powder and oil. Again, nothing happened. I was then told by my Twitch chat that I need to make this feather mix. This thing right here. Oh, that thing. So I make this. So the fire and ice feather mixture created for the fire to fuel the primal preserving bin crafted in your inventory. This then works like a fuel for the preserving bin and turns this meat into meat jerky, and a hell of a lot quicker than it would in any other preserving bin. Throughout this playthrough, we've been running around like a crazy naked man. It's probably time we get ourselves some decent armor. We had picked up a few blueprints, so the armor that we're crafting isn't just primitive, it's a little bit better. But now we have a full set of alpha armor. We were also looking a little bit scruffy, so of course I had to give myself a new cut. Only problem is, I forgot this was ASE. That's right. We gotta wait for it to grow. What was the next kibble that we needed? Working our way through the tiers of primal fear, I went to see what the next kibble we could make was. And it was apex as long as we had some elemental eggs. Our featherlight had been making some eggs, just not that much. So to help things speed along a little bit, we went out to go find another elemental creature that can also lay some eggs. Like this caustic featherlight. With the primal sniper, we're able to knock things out quite quickly. And we've been able to pick up these tame helpers that speed up the taming process once you feed a creature. We went to go check on our sap tap tree and collect all the sap that was in them. Oh, whoa, these guys are cranking the sap. It might have seemed like we'd forgot about it, but there's just so much happening in this playthrough. Anyways, we made the veggie cake. I was able to make 2 veggie cakes, so immediately we went to go find the closest snail as possible. Oops, I killed it. Yeah, I accidentally killed this one. My bad. On our journey to find another Achatina, we went to stop over here at this person's base. This was Hello Gaming. I was going to invite them to our alliance, but I had the settings messed up and we couldn't invite them right now because we're not allowed to have that many alliance in our alliance. We find ourselves in the swamp biome where we find the perfect snail. I actually thought that they were a passive tame. Oh, they're a KO tame. Please don't kill it. We managed to tame this Achatina. It's a low level, so it didn't require much. I still had one more veggie cake, so of course I had to go tame another one. These 2 snails will produce a cementing paste over time, a very valuable resource. It was now time that we tame ourselves an apex creature. Particularly something that can lay us eggs or even maybe a killer. I don't know. We just had to look to see what was around. In the end, I settled for this level 145 Apex RG. Why such a high level? Well, I could possibly use it for other things like carting dinos around or helping us tame stuff since it can pick things up. But it's also a female, so it will lay us eggs, which is probably the most important thing right now. Close by to the Apex RG that we just tamed was this Origin Rex, one of the boss creatures that we're going to need to defeat before day 100. We're constantly needing metal. Like we haven't even finished our base yet. I wanted to see what exactly I needed to be able to craft this mining drill. I only need some black pearls, which we tend to get from fabled creatures anyway, but obviously I just don't have any right now. Day 27, and I checked the kibble recipes to see what I need to progress to the next tier, and it looks like I need some apex eggs and a bunch of apex blood, both of which we don't really have right now. So some helpless apex creatures are gonna have to well, you know what happens. I also tried out this chainsaw to see if it'll gather more resources, and it kind of does. It definitely gives us a lot of hide. Either way, it was kind of fun living out my Texas Chainsaw Massacre dreams. Apex blood in itself is quite a crucial resource in this playthrough. We use it for a lot of things, not just kibble. We also use it in the apex strength bullets as well. It had been a little while, so I checked the soul terminal to see if we had any apex eggs. We only had 1, and that's not enough to make any kibble. So whilst we waited, we went out to go gather a whole bunch of metal. Again, it's a resource that we're going to need a lot of, and this is a good way to kill some time whilst we wait on other things to happen, like egg laying. Day 28, whilst flying low through the highlands, I got taken off my griffin by a Sarko. I didn't even know this was a thing. I thought it was only Capras that could do that. I was able to kill it with my hatchet. It's a strong one. We have an ascended version, but remember, this is primal fear, and we got pounced on by a raptor. I kept trying to whistle my griffin to help us out, but it was just flying around in circles. Bro, you griffin, you're so shit at life. Not helpful and just flying around in circles. You're watching me. Not being helpful at all. Stupid griffin. Later on in the day, I went to go meet one of my subscribers that was having a little bit of trouble in this playthrough. So I hooked him up with some spare alpha pteranodons that we had. This should help him get a decent start, you would think. I wanted to try and speed up the process of getting these apex eggs. I figured maybe an oviraptor could help in this situation. If I tame it up and then place it in the soul terminal, I'm pretty sure it helps with like the whole egg production situation. I'm not 100% sure if it works in the soul terminal, but there's only really one way to find out. Oh, and at the end of this day, I tamed a toxic dodo. Seems like a random thing to do, right? Well, essentially, I want to tame a bunch of these so that I could sacrifice them because I need toxic blood, like a lot of it. Day 29, I was greeted at my base by this sign. Yes, some Monga and Mongo eggs. These are some new creatures that I've never seen before in Primal Fear. Although these gifts were sweet and lovely, I can't accept them. That's not how I play my 100 days. Anyways, this is a Mongo right here. It's a flaming Argentavis, and you'll see later on, they're pretty damn strong. It was also time to start working on our base and completing it. We're going to be using the Castles and Keeps mod for this. These pieces right here work like metal structures. Cue montage. I mean, the length is good. We got to fix that girth. It's now day 30 and we've already run out of resources to be able to finish building this base. I need a whole bunch of crystal because I'm going to turn one of these rooms into a greenhouse. On the way back to base, we spot a Monga, then an Alpha Raptor that I decide to attack. This was a mistake. What the frick? Later on, I return back to a mountain to harvest some more resources. Oh, get fucked. But this happens. GG's. I don't know how, but we end up going through a little stint of very bad luck. No. I really need to be more careful when flying around in Primal Fear. And if I see explosions, I should probably fly up and away. For fuck's sake. Don't worry though, we do finally get a chance to harvest some metal after many deaths. We could then get back to finishing off this base. Day 31, we still not finished this base, but we're almost there. Once again, I run out of resources, so we're going to collect some more metal. Are they fighting? Or the phoenix just being a phoenix? Have you ever had those moments in time where you look back on something that you've done and realize probably shouldn't have done that? Yes, this was one of those moments. Losing our only Enki was quite inconvenient too. And we finally finished our base. Of course, this is what it looks like. What did you expect? We've done this design so many times. Maybe I should try something else. I just find it extremely practical, like it works for exactly what I need. With our base now fully set, it's time to focus on progression. We're now wearing Apex armor. It's like alpha armor, but just like kind of darker. It's the same but different. Oh, and it's stronger. We're in the volcano biome again, collecting more resources. We can only do it with a pickaxe now since we lost our Enki earlier. We're also collecting some obsidian and heading to the snow biome to collect some metal. With our Enki now gone, it's probably a good time to craft one of these things, the mining drill. Day 34 and I'm drowning in the ocean. Why? Because I'm an idiot and forgot to get air. Duh. We're here for good reason though. We want to tame ourselves a Basilo. Oh, that rhymed. All I need to do is tame it and then get it in a soul ball and we should be fine. I don't care if I die, if I could just get this in a ball. Damn. Oh, I got it in the ball. That's some pro ARK playing right there. Anyways, if you don't know why we got this Basilo, well, that's so it can produce oil in the soul terminal. Yes, Basilos do that. We also now have a whole bunch of Apex eggs, which means there's a whole bunch of different creatures we can go and tame. Special creatures, advanced elementals, fabled, and even Omega. But now I learned the celestial and demonic kibble. I don't really need to because I can't get it yet, but I learned it. And I think the type of dino that I want to tame right now is a buffoon dino. Jumping up to this next tier, we're going to need a whole lot of tranks. The creatures that we're trying to tame now have a lot of torpor, and to make some of the modded narcotics, I need lots of toxic blood, but I had a problem. Oh no, it's a toxic zombie dodo. What in the necrophilia is this? Anyways, we'll figure out this problem a little bit later. For now, we need to go tame ourselves a buffoon dino, and there was a particular one that I wanted to go and tame, the buffoon Liplorodon. Only problem is, it was already deep in the ocean, and I didn't know how to get it to come up. I tried shooting it to see if it would shoot through the water, and this seemed to work. 360,000 torpor. I was hoping I could actually get this done. We were pretty well stocked up on Apex bullets, but because our aim is terrible and we missed a whole bunch, we kind of wasted a few of these. We were getting the job done though, and the Liplorodon was distracted by something else. If it was chasing us, this could be pretty deadly. As I was getting closer to finally knocking it out, damn, we gotta go back to base. I'm out of bullets. Came back to base so we could craft up some more narcotics, but we ran into a problem. Need toxic blood. This swampy type area tends to have some toxic creatures in it. We found this Phiomia and extracted some blood from it, and this toxic Carby as well. These creatures don't tend to drop a lot of blood, but we're just gathering what we can. We're now able to make 24 more bullets. This should get the job done. You know, as long as I don't griffin dive straight into the water, get dismounted, and then attacked by a capro. On or off? Oh! Mistakes were made. Fuck, mistakes were made. Well, aren't you lucky that didn't happen? It was a Baryonyx, not a Capro. It also broke some of my armor. That was depressing. Day 34 and we returned to the buffoon Liplorodon. And we had more than enough bullets to knock this thing out. But it fell asleep floating in the middle of the air. Now I had to try and find a creative way to actually feed this thing the kibble. God damn it. I really thought that would have worked. This little strategy seemed to work though. Thankfully, Frost Talon here just floats in the middle of the air too. This buffoon Liplorodon doesn't need a saddle, so we could ride it straight away. Taming this buffoon Liplorodon is a significant move forward in our progress, and I'll show you why. Pretty deadly. Don't want to be inside that. I had some experience potions on me, so I fed it to it to make it stronger and increase its health a bit. Also, because this is a water creature, not only could it fly in the sky, it could also go underwater. Obviously. Did you know that killing Basilos and harvesting them, you gather a bunch of oil? Oh, that got us lots of oil. I wanted to test my strength out against something really strong. Something like this Primal Aloe. The biggest advantage that we have is that it does damage over time and quite a bit. Also, we can fly, so this aloe is not going to touch us. We got this aloe stuck in this little trench area, and because our missile attack stacks damage over time, we were absolutely wasting this thing. A demonic Hyenodon even came to join the party, but we're just better. Primal creatures are kind of like a pre-boss type creature. You can't tame them whatsoever, but you do need to defeat them and collect a lot of resources from them, like their blood and their hide for stuff. We now prove to ourselves that taming this Liplorodon was a great idea. Here we go. Say goodbye to Primal Allosaurus. Goodbye, Primal Allosaurus. You're dead. Nothing in this world is safe. We were going to attack everything. Took this chance to get some stuff underwater as well. Particularly Calcanoses, since they drop a bunch of chitin and organic polymer, and they are all over the ocean floor. I just gotta try and remind myself occasionally about, you know, the whole oxygen thing. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get out. I like this Lithlorodon. It's a nice Lithlorodon. There was a wild broodmother Listrix next to my base. Again, I wanted to see if we could fight it. We took down a Primal easily, and we took this down even easier than the Primal. Things are looking up. This is making me more confident to be able to fight natural causes by day 100. Just a quick small run around the world. We managed to get all of this loot. This Lithlorodon's crazy. Day 35, we tamed a toxic Phiomia. 2 of them, in fact. Obviously, I plan on breeding these 2 together to give us lots of toxic blood. And I figured a Phiomia is going to give us more blood than Dodos would. I was getting a little bit overconfident, and I saw this Origin Rex next to a Celestial Rex and a Primal Raptor all next to each other. I wanted to see if I can kill him. I'm pretty sure that was me that killed the Celestial Rex. I'm not sure. Even though we did a lot of damage, this was going to take forever. It's not worth it. We'll come back when we're actually strong enough. Bro, we'll be here for days just to fight this. And we don't need to. We don't need to be killing Origins right now. That's crazy. Back at base, I placed down this hitching post so our toxic Phiomias can start making some love. Next, I inspected what I needed for demonic and celestial kibble. Okay, so I need to go tame. I need to tame a fabled egg layer and an omega egg layer. I whipped up some fabled kibble and some omega kibble, then immediately went out to go and try and find this fabled stegosaurus that would be our fabled egg layer. Exploring the thick jungle can be super sketchy in Primal Fear. That's why I made sure to stay on the back of my griffin this entire time. We got our stego. Booyah. From previous times playing this, I did realize that fabled creatures do take a little bit longer to make some eggs. That's why I got this fabled pteranodon to help it out. Oh, you're a pretty one. Pretty sleepy. Yeah, there was a pretty one nearby, so of course I had to get that as well. Fabled creatures acquired. Now onto the Omega tier. Omega creatures actually can be very handy to have. They can heal your creatures passively, and they can do a bunch of other things like buff them as well. They also have high movement speed as well. Out of all the Omega creatures I could possibly tame, I chose to tame this Sarko. You know what's also exciting? Yeah, not that. Not that at all. Our Frost Talon had died. We really liked our Frost Talon. In honor of our Ice Griffin, I made this gravestone. Frost Talon, you will always be remembered. Anyways, it's time to move on with life, because if we don't hurry up, we're going to end up like Frost Talon permanently as well. Natural Causes is coming. I came over here to try and tame this Omega Rex. Bro, I really should have looked at how much torpor it had before I made my first shot. What an idiot. Yeah, that's a lot of torpor considering we don't deal that much. We would have to waste a ton of bullets trying to tame it. We came back to the swamp area to try and tame an Omega Sarko. Again, I forgot the raptors can pounce on you and dismount you. Stupid pouncy birds. We managed to get away from the Alpha Raptor and knock out this Omega Sarko. We now have fabled and Omega creatures that will produce us some eggs. We just need to now wait until we actually get some eggs so we can move forward. This is a survival game, and we need resources, so we probably should go out and collect some while we wait. Using this brand new mining drill is so much more convenient than using an Enki, and it doesn't come with any risks. If we die, we just go back to base and we don't have to worry about a dead dino. Another way to get a bunch of resources is with the industrial grinder. Since we've been killing a bunch of fabled creatures and just other creatures that drop random items, we've collected a bunch of gear over time. A whole bunch that we don't really need, so we can afford to grind it up. With a whole bunch of ascendant gear, I kind of expected more resources, but it is what it is. I need toxic blood. And yeah, you guys know exactly how I'm going to get it. Day 37, we got our buffoon Lithlorodon out again. Let's go, Jeff Bezos. Yes, we named it Jeff Bezos. Why did we name it that? No idea. It was someone from my Twitch chat. Anyways, we're on our way to hunt down this buffoon Giganotopithecus. No, we're not trying to tame it. We're trying to kill it. Why? So I can get one of these. There we go. Goliath chainsaw off the rip. 650, bro. As you've already seen, chainsaws can help us gather blood and hide, and a Goliath one even more so. We spotted this Primal Carno nearby, so I had to take it out. Primal blood is a valuable resource. You can use it for a lot of really good things. It's demonic, not demonic giga. I made another mistake though. Imagine. Wrong button. Fuck. I raced back to the Lithlorodon. I was really hoping it wasn't dead. Thing is, I kind of don't know this map very well, so I don't know exactly where we were, and I got lost. Where did I die? I don't even remember. I eventually found it and then whistled it over to me, and we're back in action, baby. This time I gotta try and not fat finger the E button. Primal Carno eliminated, brand new chainsaw. It's time to test it out. Honestly, I thought I was gonna get more blood than this. We literally got nothing. Turns out we were really close to Mr. Pineapple's base. He was hiding in a cave like a pussy. Honestly, with all the explosions that happen out in the world, this is probably a smart play. Be a shame if I blew it up. Anyway. Doesn't work. Well, will you look at all these Phiomias? Maybe don't look. Don't look. This is sad. Day 38, and I was craving me some rare mushrooms. Not really. I ran out and I can't make any more narcotics. And we're back in the swamp, stocking up on these valuable mushrooms. I realized I'm at the fabled tier, so maybe I should get myself a fabled Therizino. We're gonna need to harvest a whole bunch of things anyway. It wasn't the highest level, but it was the only one on the map currently. I was also told that apparently the fabled Therizino was great at harvesting blood off creatures. To save some time leveling this thing up, I fed it some experience potions that we had gotten. And initially, it wasn't that much better than our Alpha Therizino at gathering stuff. But once I upgraded its delicate harvesting and a little bit of its power harvesting, this made it a lot better. And we were able to take out some stronger creatures, which means we don't have as much risk as we did when we were riding our Alpha variant. But still, if you hear this, run. Later in the day, I had a couple visitors come to say hello. We had Caged and Josh come to join the alliance. They look like they've made quite a bit of progress. I then went to the Wyvern Trench to get a bunch of resources. There's a lot of stuff down here that I can use that's kind of like all together, like obsidian, metal, and crystal. Day 39, and I finally got to get rid of these primal forges and this normal forge. Yes, it's time to upgrade to the industrial age. The industrial forge cooks the hell out of metal and wood. Then, with all the resources that we'd previously gathered in other days, I crafted some potent narcotics, turned it into toxic narcotics, but we had gathered primal blood. So now I could make primal narcotics. And primal rifle bullets are 45 times more effective than a normal tranquilizer. I'm not good at maths, but I think that's pretty good. But to get the most out of these primal bullets, I think I need to get a better primal sniper rifle. And I do have decent blueprints, but I don't have enough resources to craft one just yet. This is why we're back in the ocean hunting down Carcanos. They will give us chitin that we can turn into cementing paste with some stone and organic polymer. Stopped at the desert as well to say goodbye to some mantises. But I think we get a lot more resources from Carcanos, so that seems to be the best option for us, considering we can go underwater quite easily. Also, a good other way to get some resources is from these fabled creatures. It might not be exactly what we're looking for, but if we get a certain amount of items from them, we can probably grind it down in the industrial grinder and get resources that way. I had a look at the recipe to see exactly what I needed to craft this primal sniper rifle. Turns out I'm gonna need some sap as well. So I teleported to my tree sap teleporter. When I approached the tree sap, I realized this wasn't mine. Did I go to the wrong place? Oh no, did my thing get blown up? It was very likely that yes, my tree platform probably got blown up. So I guess I'm gonna have to craft up another one. Back in the redwoods trying to find the perfect tree. And I think that explosion there then confirms what I thought. There's a good chance some sort of creature destroyed my place. This was the highest tree that I could find, but even still, I don't know if it'll survive. Either way, I just need to get some tree sap. I teleported back over to Josh's tree platform where the tree sap was. He had unlocked his tree sap taps, so we were able to get some. We still don't have enough resources to make this gun just yet. We're harvesting all of these rocks to gather some stone that I can put into the chemistry bench and mix it with chitin to make some cementing paste. Even though we have Acatinas producing us some paste, it's nowhere near enough. Day 41, and we're finally able to craft up this ascended fabricated sniper rifle. I once again needed some more seeds to make some potent narcotics. So once again, we had to get our good old friend, the Alpha Iguanodon, out and get him to seed some of these fruits. Whilst the narcotics were crafting up, I went to see exactly what I needed to be able to craft the next kibbles. And with some primal blood, we could then start crafting up some demonic and celestial kibbles. I also needed some artifacts as well. So we went to go hunt down a creature that drops artifacts. But along the way, we saw this spirit guardian. A couple of players on the server were fighting it right now. Obviously, that thing would absolutely decimate me, so I didn't want to get involved. I'm just here for this artifacto, that's it. And yes, obviously, Artifacto the Great drops artifacts. Once again, I had to sacrifice some Pheomias, but this was for a little experiment that I had. It was to confirm that the fabled fairy was actually good at getting blood, and I'll have to admit, it's pretty damn good. This was a lot of blood. There was one certain creature that I really wanted to try and tame. This is almost a must in every Primal Fear playthrough. The fabled Griffithorn is just a great travel mount. It always has a decent amount of health, and they're pretty fast. They are typically pretty hard to tame because they're so fast and pretty deadly, but we have an ascended primal rifle and primal bullets. My Twitch chat decided to name this Griffithorn Harry Acorn. What does that mean? No idea. If anybody knows, tell me in the comments. When you add the fabled tier, Griffithorns are actually a really good tame. They have a nice AoE attack that does a decent amount of damage, and their speed and maneuverability in the sky is unmatched. The morning of day 42, I was just having a lot of fun on my new Griffithorn. It's like a brand new toy. You got to enjoy it whilst it's still new. But we probably should start looking forward and focus on our progress. We came out to this area so we could try and hunt down this level 140 Monga. Now, Monga and Mongo are very new creatures, and they have a unique way to tame them. Basically, you got to kill them and they'll drop an egg. The problem is killing them is kind of hard, but there was a Chaos Bee nearby, and I wanted to try and get Monga to fight the Chaos Bee, and it was somewhat working. I wasn't doing any of that damage. It was all the Chaos Bee, but somehow it healed itself. It healed! I needed to get the attention of the Chaos Giant Bee and try and get it to attack so that it will fight the Monga, but at the same time, try and not die myself. Can I not even bite it? They both have neutral aggressiveness, so they won't attack you unless provoked. But if they attack each other, then the fight's on for real. I learned that the Monga does this big AoE attack, so all I need to do is get the Chaos Bee below it, and they should fight. Couple sketchy moments, but I think we're starting to get this to work. Hit the Chaos Bee. Hit the Chaos Bee. Fight each other. You guys weren't close enough to each other? Oh, man. They were both fighting each other, but sometimes the Chaos Queen Bee would fight me. I kept trying to aggro this Monga, but I think I timed this thing a little bit wrong. Love that. Quickly spawn before he dies. Get out of render, out of render, out of render. Please, nobody be in render. As we respawned, we got a devastating notification. No, Jeff Bezos died. Poor Jeff Bezos. Another popular dino that we have to honor. He really helped us progress significantly in this playthrough. Kind of messed up having to write Jeff Bezos on a gravestone. I was then told that our strategy had worked and the Monga had dropped an egg. Again, this map confuses me. I went to the wrong spot. Tell me the codes. 2652. Thankfully, I have a pretty trusty community that can help me out. Oh, yeah, that's right. Duh, I remember now. It was way north. When we arrived, the Monga egg wasn't there. My man's Ripcon hooked it up. Hold on. There we go. Since we have now acquired an egg like this, I placed down some air conditioners to help us hatch it properly. Day 43, and I wanted to cook me up some food. Hide you from all dinos. As long as you don't get too close to piss them off, it increases your speed by a large amount and reduces stamina. Well, this certainly sounds like a bit of fun. Can't see me. Can't see me, soccer. Oh, can't see me. Surely the brood mother spots me. Like, I'm right here, bruh. Right underneath your butt. Do they attack you if you attack them? I mean, only one way to find out. Yes. That was a lot of fun, and we probably could have used it a bit earlier. I mean, the speed boost alone is pretty handy to have. Oh, motherfucker, scared the fuck out of me. Oh my lord. I was like, no way I've got a spirit. Ah, but that's what you were trying to do, weren't you? You were trying to scare me by dropping one at my base. Yep. I suppose this is what I get for having a G-Portal server open to my community. We're almost up to the stage where we can start fighting some of these bosses to deter natural causes from coming to mess us up. But sometimes I do get a little bit distracted, especially when someone challenges me to something. Challenge for you while we wait. Go 1v1 a random alpha. I have to 1v1 on foot, an alpha creature. I had no time to make any armor, and it has to be the first one I see. But they promised me a gifted sub if I did it. Oh, is that a stego? Oh no. Oh no, it's a 140 stego. Oh, it's a pack of them. I saw that one first. That's fair game. This wasn't even a 1v1, but I was way outnumbered. Too easy, bruh. Too easy, bruh. Hey, and he's a man of his word. Let's go, brother. Thanks for the sub, dude. Now, the reason why we were kind of distracted was because we were killing time for an important reason. Yes, we were waiting for our Monga to fully grow up. Now it's time to test this thing out. It has 1,000,000 health, so I would assume it's pretty good. This Phoenix is pretty to look at, but can it hit hard? That's the question. Oh, these poor innocent souls. I don't think they suffered though. They died quickly. There was someone over here fighting an Origin Raptor. Of course, I had to help him out. We have a brand new toy and we have to test out its full power. With this, we unlocked some tech engrams and got our first Origin items. But most importantly, natural causes can't bring this to fight me. With the newfound power of this Monga, I went to fight this Origin Kano. This damage over time attack is absolutely brutal, and anything within its flames gets melted. The Origin Kano had 120 million health, so 38,000 damage, even though it is a lot, it took us a little while to get its health down. But then someone else came along and decided to do this. Whereas if you drop another Origin on my head. Yeah, someone else came over and dropped a Kairuku nearby. I was just within the area when they killed it, so I got this unlock. I was kind of frustrated, so I just left. Day 44, we were setting the world on fire, taking out this Primal Kano. Then we're in the desert and we found an Origin Kano. We've leveled up a little bit, so we're doing a little bit more damage. And this Kano doesn't have 120 million. It's only 107 million. Only. But we managed to take it down with our Monga, another boss creature deleted from this world. Now that we can easily take out primals quickly, that's pretty much what I did for a little bit. And with the help of this fabled fairy, we were able to gather even more blood. We saw a celestial in the distance, so I went to go fight it. But I think I'm getting a little bit overconfident. I was stressed that we lost our Monga, our most powerful creature. So I raced back there and yeah, I got cocooned before I could actually get to the Monga. But I did manage to whistle it to follow us. So we managed to get away safely and I got my Monga back. I then got my revenge on the Celestial Griffin that killed us. And to rub it in, I had to chainsaw its body. We got a lot of Celestial hide. Day 45 and yet again, we get another visitor. But this guy brought over his whole base. Yeah, this is someone's base. This is crazy, bro. You built a fucking skiff base with a full-ass force field. This is Caged, aka Milkshake, one of my Discord admins. Oh, the full glass thing? I won't lie, this is actually a pretty creative base design. And I gotta say, I have to respect a practical, good base design. Moving on, after killing a few Origin creatures, we now have a full set of Origin armor. It's stronger, tougher, and more durable. Yeah, you can't break it. Next, I went to go tame a demonic thorny dragon. These creatures are pretty much the meta to all Primal Fear playthroughs. Now, I've used Thorny Dragons the last 2 times that I've done Primal Fear, and ideally, I don't want to have to use them again, but I am going to tame a breeding pair anyway, just in case I need them to back me up for whatever reasons. Also, if you didn't notice, I used the Origin Trank for this one. An Origin Trank is basically a one-hit wonder. For most creatures, it only takes 1 Origin Trank to knock them out. Of course, it's never that simple. This Rock Elemental was protecting this demonic Thorny. I managed to kite it away, but I also realized I forgot some demonic kibble. I returned back to base and I crafted up a couple more, then returned to the big black beauty and tamed it up. Of course, I got these 2 breeding as soon as we got back to base. An army of demonic thorny dragons will help us defeat most bosses. But you know what else can help us out with stuff? A nice, cool, refreshing refrigerator. We're starting to craft a whole lot of kibbles now, so I want a place to store it. Day 46, we had a fully grown up demonic thorny dragon. So I placed a saddle on its back and took it for a spin, and was quickly reminded how strong these guys were. It's the simple fact that they have a ranged attack that does damage over time. I even decided to try and fight this Origin Dire Bear. You see, every time we launched our attack, the damage stacked. So the longer we stayed in this fight, the quicker we melted this Dire Bear, taking out another boss creature. My beehive outside had produced enough honey that I could craft this. This is the craftable S Plus beehive. Now, the advantage of this is that you can place it on a foundation, which you can't for the normal one, and if you open the inventory of it, the bees won't hurt you. As we keep killing these Origin creatures, we get better and better armor every time. So it's time for a fit check. We're looking pretty fly for an ARK guy. Next, I decided to destroy my base. Not really, this was a complete accident. What I'm trying to do right now is extend this out a little bit. I want an outdoor area that's nice and flat and even. This will be a place I'm going to use as a breeding area, and this is what it looks like right now. Nice clean little area for breeding and stuff. I should probably fix this hole that I made. We're moving up in the world, so much so that I could make this, the Tech Replicator. I also placed this awesome teleporter outside, as this is a better place for us to be able to teleport back to whenever we need. It's got more space for some of the larger dinos that we're about to tame. I had been told that Mongo is apparently stronger than Monga, and there's a level 150 on the map. And now Monga can probably take it out, so we'll be able to get it. But yes, there was a Primal Spino on the way, and I couldn't take up an opportunity to get some juicy Primal blood. Monga makes this so much easier. Anyways, we came over to the level 150 Mongo. Oh, there's 2 Mongos here. And yes, there were 2 Mongos here. You see, Monga and Mongo can power up. That's what that noise was. And I think I just killed them both like that. I did. And they both dropped eggs. And just like that, we secured 2 Mongo eggs. Now to head back to base and place these eggs in our soul terminal so that they can incubate. While we wait for the Mongos to incubate, I made some more crafting benches. There were a few that I hadn't made just yet, including the Primal Tech bench, the Extinction bench, and the Genesis bench. I don't really use them right away because I don't need to. I just wanted to put them down because we could. But we also need to start producing a lot more cementing paste. And I remember that the Acatinas are genderless and can breed with each other. How does this work? No idea. Do I want to know? Definitely not. I'm still scarred from when my parents explained how exactly mating works. I then take another look at my base. Is it time to retire this design, or do we keep this going for longer? Let me know in the comments. We now have a Mongo. It fully grew up kind of quickly. Before riding it though, I had to craft up a saddle for it. Mongo. I then fed it a max experience potion, and I got Monga to follow us. Apparently, if you have Monga and Mongo together, they get this love buff kind of thing. It makes them pretty damn deadly together. Like 3 times more damage, 3 times damage resistance. It's kind of crazy. But for now, I'm riding solo, testing out Mongo's abilities. It like self-detonates and destroys everything. This thing's really strong, but unless you're powered up, this might happen. To make things worse, yes, our Mongo died. It was a max level as well. But there's one special feature that comes with the Mongos and Mongas. Even your tamed ones drop eggs when they die. I just needed to deal with this terror bird first, and hopefully not die again. Okay, don't worry, I died. I died again? Oh, there is an egg. That's kind of cool. Yeah, we got the egg back. Great news. Mongo lives on. Day 48, I returned back to my base and somebody had set up a sign in front of it. Welcome to the mightiest, girthiest, most pleasurable base in existence. The Schling Schlong Kong Dong. I guess this is the name of our base. Slap them cheeks, boy. Okay. He's sticking his ass in his face. Yeah, this is how the community treats me. I get monkey butt in my face. But also, I got kind of inspired by seeing this guy with a boss creature. And I think I want to tame me some boss creatures as well. I've never done it in my Primal Fear playthroughs, and I think they're pretty damn powerful if you can get to the higher tiers, that is. The only way to tame them is with a special boss kibble. And you have to start with basic bosses first, and then get their eggs and progress through the tiers that way. So that's why we're taming this low-level Dodo Rex. This will be our first egg layer. Then after this, we'll tame an alpha tier, apex tier, and so on. Our max level Mongo may have died, but we still had the low level one. So we're going to use this for now, go out and have some fun. I wish I could show you most of the fun, but I can't. It just looks like this most of the time. I soon realized that Mongo is certainly better than Monga. Like, look how quickly this origin bear died. In Primal Fear, you need to kill a lot of origin creatures over and over and over again. And you can summon them in, but they're kind of expensive to summon. So if you ever see them in the wild, you should take your opportunity and kill them. Day 49, I'm powered up and destroying everything that I can see. Well, everything that I need to kill anyway, like this origin Kano. But then once again, started getting a little bit too overconfident and not really paying attention to my surroundings. Up, 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 up. There's a Spirit Manticore, bro. Mistakes were made, I know. It's been quite a while, so I wanted to see if we had any boss eggs. There was only one. So to speed this process up, we went out to go tame another boss creature. There was a low-level female broodmother right near our base, and it only requires one single kibble, and this will be perfect to help us get some boss eggs. There was one demonic creature that I hadn't seen before, and it might only be unique to the Lost Island map, but the demonic Dinopithecus might be a cool little tame. I had also killed a loot boss along the way. I don't remember how. I think I just blew it up when I was doing stuff. So we got a lot of blueprints. And with all of these blueprints, we need a place to put them. So I made this S+ bookshelf. And this is where we'll store all of our blueprints. Anyways, we tamed this demonic Dinopithecus. It's a really cool Rafiki. It throws grenades, but I'm pretty sure those grenades are poop, which really brings new meaning to explosive diarrhea. Death by explosive poop is kind of a sad way to go out, but in all seriousness, this Dinopithecus is pretty damn strong. We're now fighting this loot boss, and loot bosses can evolve and give you better gear, but you need to get them below 10% health for them to evolve. We evolved this green ramshackle loot boss into an apprentice one, but as we were fighting, I kind of lost control. Oh, I killed it. We might get good blueprints, we might not, but we really want the top tier, which is Goliath. You know what's satisfying? Painting your entire screen yellow. That's a lot of death. I really like this Dinopithecus, but I don't know if it's better than Mongo. I'm still glad we got a chance to tame it and have a bit of fun though. Day 50 and we're back on the skies on the back of our strongest creature yet, Mongo. We're back out hunting down origin creatures, this time a massive origin Rex. And it didn't stand up against our Mongo at all. We destroyed the heck out of it, defeating another origin creature and unlocking more tech engrams. Next, we found this origin Argentavis. One shot from our big attack and it's gone. This Mongo's seriously overpowered. Artifacts are a bit difficult to get our hands on regularly. There's not many artifactos that currently spawn in on the map, so we're gonna have to run a cave and then try and find the artifact inside here. Now, caves are typically pretty dangerous, but Mongo sorts out everything. And once we make it to the artifact, we can collect it, but we also want to come back here whenever we need. So I placed down an awesome teleporter right next to it. And as long as there's an artifact there, we can get it whenever we need. Next, we can now make alpha boss kibble. I'm not trying to get an alpha boss for myself to ride around or anything. I only want it for an egg layer. And this level 20 alpha dragon will be perfect, as long as the Fable Brachy doesn't want to fight it. I had to waste some bullets here knocking these guys out so they don't try and fight my dragon. After all, this is mine, nobody else's. Day 51, and we picked up one of these summoning things. We could summon Captain Black the Boulder. He wasn't very strong, so we knocked him out quite quickly and managed to tame him with some special kibble. This will be the last time we see him. Yeah, he's kind of weak, so we probably won't use him for anything. Moving on, we've got to be pressing forward. So I went to go see exactly what I needed to be able to summon in the next tier of bosses, the Empress or the Emperor. I need to kill a couple more of these origin bosses, two of which we haven't faced yet. So on the back of our Mongo, we flew over to this area right here, brought Mongo as well for the extra buff, and summoned in these origin bosses. We took out the origin Spino, the origin Rex, and finally the origin Wyvern. Mongo is extremely powerful. Being able to take these origins out that quickly and easily, yeah, he's OP. Next, I wanted to try and get my hands on some decent loot, so we're fighting a loot boss. But our goal is to get this loot boss below 10% of its health so that it will level up to the next tier. For example, right now it's in the Journeyman tier. When it goes berserk, that means it's about to evolve, like this, into the Mastercraft tier. We have to be extremely careful and patient. If we use our ultimate attack on Mongo, we'll probably kill it straight away. We managed to get it all the way to the Ascendant tier. I might be happy with this. I'm gonna X attack. Actually, maybe I'll X attack from a distance. It had a lot of health, and I knew this was going to take a while. I used that ultimate attack, and it one-shot it. Oh, he's going to die. Damn it. But even at the Ascendant tier, we got some pretty decent loot. Not only did we get some high tier saddle blueprints, we also got fully crafted saddles as well. And the ones that we don't need, we could grind down and get back a ton of resources. But most importantly, we got a Goliath saddle for our Mongo. Day 52, and we're heading on over to the deep ocean to get ourselves an anglerfish. We're in desperate need of a whole lot of electronics, so we need a whole lot of silica pearls, and anglerfish are great at harvesting silica pearls. Jack that movement speed up, the weight, but mainly movement speed. While we go and farm a bunch of silica pearls. Yes, they're fast and zippy, and then they go along the ocean floor just eating up all these silica pearls. Oh, now are we too fast to actually pick these bastards up? Okay. We spend a vast majority of this day just collecting silica pearls. We need a lot of them. I then return back to our base, place all of these silica pearls into our tech replicator because it produces the electronics a lot faster. Now, why do I possibly need this many electronics? That's because I'm trying to make this thing right here, the S Plus propagator. I have never once used this in any one of my playthroughs, but I've been told by some people that are playing on the server that it's a really good thing to have, especially when you're trying to breed some creatures. Thing is, this thing's super overpowered. Like, it's borderline cheating. As long as you have two of the exact same creatures in it, and it doesn't matter on gender, you can breed them together and guarantee that you'll get mutated stats. So of course, there was one creature that I definitely wanted to breed. Next, I went out to go and hunt down another Mongo. I'm pretty sure I already have two, so I can't exactly remember why we went to go get another one. Anyways, I wanted to try and knock this one out. I know I can kill it and get the egg, but I wanted to see if I could still tame it in this method. This may have been a bit of a silly idea. No! I returned on the back of our Grifficorn and then began knocking this bird out. It seemed like it was still trying to attack us or something. So with it being distracted, we were able to put it to sleep. I think it was trying to eat the dead body of my Mongo. Oh yeah, that's right. I get an egg back. I forgot about that. I thought it was all over Red Rover. I fed it the demonic kibble and it tamed. But also I wanted to tame this because it should... Yes, it got the bonus levels. I started to head back to base, but then I remembered that Mongo had a special saddle on it. I had to return and try and find that saddle. After searching for a little while, we managed to find the bag and got back our Goliath Mongo saddle. Who are you? Yeah, I was seriously confused. I don't know how I had another Mongo here. Maybe the other one that I was riding that died was our low level one. I don't know. It was confusing. Where did this one come from? Okay, we got two Mongos ready to go then. Mongo. Now that we have two Mongos, I placed them both into the propagator. Yes, I know, they're both male. But hey guys, it's 2025. You can do whatever you want. Well, as long as you have a propagator at home, that is. Anyway, we put some element in the propagator, turned one of these Mongos into a female, and began the breeding process. Now we wait. Our very first egg came out, and this one has a food mutation, not what we're after. Day 54, we have a few more Mongo eggs that have come through. And yes, we got one with a melee mutation. Now to hatch that one and wait for it to grow up. Then we can start breeding again. For now, we're going to teleport over to an artifact so I can yoink it up. I need to summon in some more origin bosses, so we're going to need some more artifacts, which is why we need to set up another teleporter in another artifact cave. One artifact's not going to be enough for us to keep farming. This particular artifact cave is filled with spiders. A lot of them. Well, a lot of dead ones. They don't like fire very much. People might be wondering why we don't really care too much about the caves and doing them properly. Well, we don't. It's Primal Fear. It's very different when you're running a cave with all these modded creatures. We just need this artifact. That's all that matters. Our mutated Mongo is fully grown up, so I made sure to rename it before we started breeding it again. This way we could keep track of exactly which one was going to be our main breeder, you know, with the extra levels. We finally spotted an artifactor on the map. Our server's currently pretty well populated, so fighting over these artifactors is kind of rough. Everyone wants to get the artifactors as quick as they spawn in, since in Primal Fear you need a ton of artifacts just to progress. So on day 55, we adjusted some of the settings so that we would have more artifactors spawn in. Having one or two on the map at a time isn't really enough for the amount of players that are currently playing on the server. Even with the increased amount of artifactors now spawning in on the server, it kind of wasn't enough, but we're gonna have to make do for now. What do we use the artifacts for exactly? Well, so we can summon in these origin bosses. We need to defeat a crazy amount of these origin bosses because we need origin tributes to be able to summon in higher tier bosses. We also need an unbelievable amount of primal blood as well, which is why we spend a large amount of time hunting down primals and origins in the wild. Like whatever we can find, we need to go hunt them down and get their blood. Day 56, and I made myself a glider suit. At least this way we don't risk losing creatures all the time. I mean, we can die, it just means our armor might break or whatever, but that can be replaced. With creatures that we tame, it's a little bit more difficult to replace. Anyways, I came for a little run around the jungle. I don't really remember why. Maybe just to get some wood and to get pounced on by an alpha raptor. Love it. We now have been able to collect enough alpha boss eggs that we can make this apex kibble, but there wasn't really any low level apex female bosses on the map right now. They need to be low level because we can only afford 1 kibble. Most of the higher levels need 2 kibble. With that being said, there was a female alpha dodo rex right next to our base, and with this will definitely speed up the production of alpha boss eggs. You know, I've been playing on this map for quite a while now, and we're up to day 57. And I had no idea that the ice wyverns had their very own wyvern trench. The more I play on this map, the more I'm starting to like it. I stumbled across another loot boss out in the wilds. Again, these things are kind of fun to play with, but also as we're going in to fight some of these tougher bosses, we could really use the saddles that this loot boss could drop. Once we got this loot boss up to the ascendant tier, it took us a little while to try and fight it and get its health down. That's why I wanted to switch up the strategy just a little bit. I brought over the good old demonic thorny dragon. You see, if I used Mongo's special ability, it would probably melt it in seconds. But our thorny dragon here, well, it could probably get its health down just enough. You see, we could melt its health, but we didn't absolutely annihilate it quickly. And this would be a lot quicker than me just biting at it for ages. The Ascendant Ferox went into its Berserk phase, then evolved into the Godliath Wandering Loot Boss. This loot boss is a lot tougher than all the previous ones, but I didn't have to hold back anymore. I could kill it, and we got a ton of loot. Like a lot of pre-made saddles, not just blueprints, like a lot more. Day 58, and I summoned in an Origin Rex. It needed to die. There was also a wild Origin Raptor on the map, so we went to go hunt that down too. I had heard that there was a thing called the Demonic Shinehorn, and that would be a really cool tame. Unfortunately, there wasn't one on the map. Only this fabled one. And I don't want a fabled one. You know what can be fun sometimes? Playing tag with an overgrown apex broodmother Listrix. And if you're a crazy serial killer, this is also fun. Day 59, and we're in need of a lot of Omega blood. Now, this Omega Sarco is going to help us get a lot of this blood, but not by killing it. We're going to breed some Sarcos together so we can harvest the blood whenever we need it. A lot of alpha and apex creatures spawn in the wild, so we tend to find that blood quite easily, but Omega blood is a little bit more difficult to come across. At least this way, we'll basically have an endless supply. As part of some of our daily chores, I went to go visit the tree sap tap and go and pick up some of the sap. You never know when we're going to need it, and it's better off back at my base than it is up here with the risk of getting blown up again. We could now summon in the Demonic Reaper Empress. I had a whole bunch of spare creatures from breeding earlier, including some of these thorny dragons and these mongos. So with this, we're now prepared to take on the Demonic Reaper Empress. I quickly realized all of our mongos weren't that strong without me riding them. This Demonic Reaper Empress is a beast. Riding this mongo, I can't power up. It's considered a celestial, and the Reaper Empress stops us from being able to power up. We've managed to do quite a bit of damage to the Demonic Reaper Empress. Now just to sweep in, try and get it out of its hole that it's buried into, and finish the job. Whew. That always gives me mad anxiety. The fact that these mongos drop their eggs still, even though they're bred, kind of OP. Since we had now defeated the Demonic Reaper Empress, we also got some pretty good armor from her. We got Master Demonic Leggings and Mastercraft Demonic Helmet. Let's go. These are actually pretty good. Anyways, before we could move on and summon in the Celestial Emperor, I needed some Omega blood, and our breeding process wasn't done yet. So I just needed to hunt down what was already on the map. Also, once we had defeated the Demonic Reaper Empress, we could summon in a tameable version. And of course, I want me a tamed Demonic Reaper Empress. They're freaking sick. I hit it once with the Origin Trank Arrow, but it took me out. I raced straight back to it, hoping that it was knocked out, but it was worse than I thought. No! Mongo! What'd you do? Mongo! What did you do, Mongo? Look at you. Mongo! Look what you did! Day 60, and with a brand new army, it's time to summon in the Celestial Emperor. This blue Indominus Rex had to go down. We could also power up for this one, so that was good, I guess. Our little army that we prepared hit hard, but died quick. A lot of this fight was just filled with blue and yellow flames. We were also grounded. We were not allowed to fly in this fight, but after a little while, we managed to take out the Celestial Indominus Rex Emperor. Again, we could summon in a tameable version. I shot it in the butt with an Origin Trank, and then we just waited for it to go to sleep. It had 2.7 million torpor, so I had to help it out with my Trank gun. But this time around, we actually managed to tame it. So I put a saddle on its back and then went for a bit of a run around the local area. These boss creatures' big attack like this is kind of fun, especially when you make the entire screen turn yellow. Nothing in this swamp was safe. We even destroyed half of the trees. At the start of any Primal Fear playthrough, you tend to get your butt kicked, so it's nice to have that turn around and we start being the dominant creature in this game. Natural Causes is creeping on closer and closer. We need to defeat more of these bosses so we can make sure that when he finally comes, we can defeat him and he won't defeat us. Which means we now need to start focusing on the next tier of bosses, the Chaos Guardian and the Spirit Guardian. Both of these are actually really tough bosses to fight, but they also require a lot of resources to actually summon them in. We're kind of currently low on Celestial Souls, and you can't farm them by breeding. You actually have to go out to the wilds and kill them. which is what we did. Our Mongo makes this quick and easy to kill them, but the fact that we're on a server and we're competing with a lot of people at the exact same time means there currently aren't a lot of Celestials on the map. So with this, we just try and kill absolutely everything and hope that more Celestials spawn in. Day 61 and there are a few more Celestials spawned in. It's not just Celestials that we do need to kill. We do need to kill Demonics. It's just that we don't have Celestial souls at the moment. We do have a lot of Demonic souls currently. But for some reason, a lot of Demonics seem to spawn in anyways. And if you're not careful around Demonics, this could happen. I'm not too worried about losing this Mongo though. It's really damn strong, so it's not really an issue. The issue is getting it back to me and then getting back on it without myself dying. I decided to just soul ball it and then run for my life. Once I was in an area that was somewhat safe, I got it out of the soul ball and then started riding it again. Then we're back on the mission hunting down creatures like this artifact though. We also spotted this Apex Dodorex on the map. It's a level 180 and a female, so this is a great little tame. And the timing was perfect. We have enough alpha boss eggs to be able to make Apex boss kibble. And just like that, we have a pretty powerful creature on our team. Oh, baby. Now we're talking. This Apex Dodorex is damn powerful. It even took out this demonic Morellatops near my base. To really test out its power, I went to fight this Origin Dire Bear. We're doing a ton of damage to this Origin Dire Bear, but honestly, my Mongo would still defeat this quicker. As we were fighting this though, this Primal Dodo Reaper just came out of nowhere. This really changed the course of this battle. I had a Primal Health Potion in my inventory, quickly switched it over to our Dodorex, fed it to it, but somehow I dismounted and died. Our Dodorex hasn't died yet, so we raced straight back over, then no! This was pretty inconvenient. Taming the Apex Dodorex was a bit of effort. Our Mongo came through and got its revenge. Day 62, I teleported over to our tree sap tap. Once I arrived, I think someone was angry with my presence. Oh, crap. Oh, freaking buffoon pharaoh. I'm in desperate need of sap right now, and I'll show you why a little bit later. But first, I'm going to show you an ulterior method to be able to get some. We're currently in the desert, chopping down cactus trees, getting cactus sap. And no, this isn't the sap that we're after. No, not at all. You see, the S+ industrial grinder can convert cactus sap into tree sap. And with this method, we get a whole lot of tree sap. And I needed the tree sap so I could make this absorbent substrate. And the absorbent substrate I need so I can make this shotgun. Do I need this shotgun desperately? No. But do I want it really bad? Yes, of course I do. Day 63, I searched to see if I could make some Apex boss kibble. And I could make 2. So once again, we went out to tame a female Apex boss. There was only this level 165 on the map. That's why we needed 2 of these kibbles. And once we had tamed this Apex Dodorex, I had decided to keep it in its soul ball. It's purely for making eggs. That's all that we need it for right now. I then went to see what I needed to summon in the Chaos Guardian. We have everything that we need. But if I'm honest, I'm kind of scared to fight it. The Chaos and Spirit Guardian are probably the hardest fights in Primal Fear in my opinion. So to boost my confidence, I summoned in a bunch of Origin creatures. We need their tributes anyway, and they're kind of fun to defeat, and it makes me feel better about myself. There was also a wild Origin Spino on the map as well. And of course, I'm going to take my opportunity to get a free Origin tribute. Day 64, and I still kind of don't like the idea of fighting these Guardians. So yeah, we're gathering resources. I decided to face the music. We need to summon this guy in eventually. A lot of people have been fighting bosses over in this area of the map. I don't know why exactly, but I'm sure it's a good thing. Everyone that plays on this server is quite smart. I brought over a small army of Mongos to help us out in this fight. And since the Guardians are flyers, I set them up in different locations. We have a bunch of Mongos over here and then a whole bunch over here. This way, we have separate waves of Mongos to help us out in this fight. I have no idea if this is a good strategy or not, but we're soon going to find out. One advantage about Mongo is that we have an attack that can ground flyers. Basically, we cocoon them and they can't fly, which gets them down to the ground and we can focus our attacks onto him. Ideally, we want to get this boss in one of the cracks down here and then focus our big attacks. Our Mongo army that went in, they're all basically dead right now. After a while, we managed to get this Chaos Guardian stuck. This was our opportunity to strike. Did I say strike? I mean, psych, we're dead. We arrived back into the fight and our second wave of Mongos were ready to fight. Once I arrived back at the Chaos Guardian, I immediately cocooned him. Man, it's just chaos. Chaos Guardians killing all my Mongos. Wow, it is framey. PC's gonna explode. Gotta love ARK. You've been cocooned. You cocooned too far away. Come back, come back, come back, come back, come back. And drop this on your butt. Alright, this should kill ya. This should kill ya. This should kill ya. It did not kill ya. 1.9 million health remaining. I cocooned this big beast and then dropped our special attack. We had now defeated the Chaos Guardian. That is one of the most scariest bosses down and out. Natural causes cannot bring the Chaos Guardian to this fight. I wanted to tame myself a Celestial Therizino. I figured because our Fabled Therizino is pretty damn good, the Celestial's another tier up, it's probably going to be better. But on my way there, we dove too close to this demonic. Holy shit. May our friend Harry Acorn rest in peace. I was randomly searching through the Dino Finder, and I searched Reaper Empress. There was a wild demonic Reaper Empress on the map. This will save me a whole lot of grinding just taking this out. I need to defeat the Empress and the Emperor once again, as long as they don't defeat me first. These Mongos make me feel a little bit overconfident sometimes. I didn't know that the Reaper Empress's minions can dismount you. After a couple unnecessary deaths, we finally defeated this Reaper Empress, and we got what we were after. The demonic Empress soul. Day 66, we took on the celestial emperor. This fight compared to the demonic Empress always feels significantly easier. I don't know if it's the power of our Mongo or if the emperor is just a little bitch. I then summoned in the tameable version of the demonic Reaper Empress. This time I'm going to make sure I get myself one. I managed to shoot it directly with the origin trank arrow, but one of the biggest tricks with taming the demonic Reaper Empress is that it will bury itself. If it's knocked out while it's buried, it's kind of hard to get. So I got to keep it above ground while I knock it out. Like this. I then raced back to base, crafted up some demonic kibble. I don't like to keep it on me because it spoils over time. Shoved it up this demonic Reaper Empress's butt and tamed it. We have now tamed 2 boss dinos. Natural causes ain't got nothing on us. Since killing the Chaos Guardian, we can now craft this. This is a Chaos Orb, and Chaos Orbs work exactly like kibble. It's what we use to tame Chaos creatures. The next tier above, Celestial and Demonic. And one of the best Chaos creatures you can possibly tame is a high-level Chaos Rex. With my origin bow, I went to go and shoot it, but it blacked out my vision. It seemed to have been fighting something, but whatever it was fighting seemed to be way stronger than the Chaos Rex. It died. Day 67 and we're back out looking for a Chaos Rex. Kind of disappointing the last one died. I still don't know what killed it. Either way, this one's a level 140, so it's stronger, I guess. I'm not using origin tranks on this one. I didn't have time to make any. Not that I needed to. We managed to tame this thing quite easily. Remember that shotgun that we crafted earlier? Well, it's a lot of fun. To summon in the Spirit Guardian, we need more Celestial Souls and Primal Blood. So that's what we're doing. We've been taming enough boss dinos that we can now tame ourselves a Chaos boss dino. And guess what? We found one on the map. There was a level 190 Chaos Manticore on the map. I had to tame this. The thing is, to make the Chaos boss kibble, I need multiple Chaos Orbs. And to make Chaos Orbs, I need Celestial Souls. And we don't have enough right now. So that's what we're doing. Collecting these Celestial Souls. It's now day 68. And yes, we farmed up enough resources so we can make this Chaos boss kibble. It's a high level manticore. It requires more than 1 kibble to tame it. I was filled with excitement. We are about to tame one of the creatures I've never tamed in any one of my playthroughs. And to top it off, it's a level 190. Surely this is going to be the strongest creature ever. 9.6 million health. Unbelievable power. Now to hit it successfully with my origin trank arrow. And try not to get killed ourselves. We managed to hit it with the origin trank and we did die, but this sacrifice was well worth it. We arrived back to a sleeping manticore. It almost woke up. Its torpor drops really quick. Yeah, look at that. We got it. I couldn't ride it straight away. I didn't realize it needed a saddle. Also, I did manage to get the saddle back off the dead Mongo. May it rest in peace. Back at base, I made a saddle for this manticore, put it on its back, and took off into the skies, ready to ride the Chaos Creature of Death. You want to know how powerful this thing is? You want to know? Watch this. Yeah, that's 2 million damage. Ain't nothing surviving our hits. Celestial Rex, dead. 800,000 damage. Primal Kano, absolutely annihilated. This beast was certainly a game changer. From here on out, I was confident we were going to dominate this entire 100 days. Whilst flying around, I saw that there was a Spirit Guardian and a bunch of Griffins. I think some people on the server were fighting it. It had very low health left, so I went to join in on the fight. I'm still scared of this thing. It's very dangerous, and so I should be. I was helping out some of my homies, and this was a great fight. And then I got cocooned and hit into the water. This was a little bit of a scary moment. I was scared that I was going to get dismounted, but what happened next, I was not prepared for. A direct hit from the Spirit Guardian. Damn. Our most powerful tame that we had ever gotten in any one of our Primal Fear playthroughs is now dead. No. And Chaos boss creatures are extremely rare. You barely ever find them on the map, especially at level 190. It's now day funny number, and I'm determined to get myself another Chaos creature. This is certainly not as cool as my Manticore, but it's still pretty good. These Chaos bees are really damn powerful. Like this Alpha Indominus Rex. Once I Chaos poop on it, it dies. A slow and painful death. Level 120. I didn't even check the level, bro. I'm an idiot. Yeah, that was an issue as well. I didn't check the level of the bee before I tamed it. I just tamed whatever one was there. Also, in Primal Fear, once you kill a female Indominus Rex, they drop an egg. That's how you can tame yourself an Indominus Rex. We're way too ahead for an alpha Indominus Rex to actually help us right now, but hey, we've got a free egg. I then spent a large part of this day just fighting things with my Chaos Bee. Now, the Chaos Bee is actually quite strong, even at this level that it's at. Like, it one-shots most creatures, but it's still just not as strong as my Mongo. It also can't really take a hit. Like, this basic Dodo Reaper absolutely ruined it. But now I'm inspired to get myself a Dodo Reaper. I mean, we have the boss kibble. That thing was really strong. I definitely want to get myself a Chaos boss again. But to speed up the process, I need to tame another Apex boss female. There was this level 185 Apex Manticore. Even though it's not the Chaos Manticore, it's still a high level, really strong one. So it could have some use for us in the future, as well as laying eggs. Day 70 and I'm still too scared to fight the Spirit Guardian. So instead, we're fighting creatures I know I can beat that I can farm for Celestial and Demonic Souls. We got lucky once again. Flying around, hunting down Celestials and Demonics, we saw this appear, which is a Demonic Reaper Empress. The Demonic Reaper Empress proved to be a tough opponent once again. The simple fact that I can't power up on a Mongo really hurts us. See, when I power up on the Mongo, it has rider protection, meaning I can't get killed off the back of it. And Mongo's attack, we have to get into close range. This time we were pretty lucky, and we got to kill this Reaper Empress. Then we could continue going, collecting these Celestial and Demonic Souls. Day 71, and we find ourselves back over at the Wyvern Trench. There was a particular creature that I wanted to try and tame. This level 180 Celestial Ice Wyvern. We got it down into the Wyvern Trench as we were trying to knock it out, but I forgot that Celestial Wyverns have this special attack that has a pretty big range on it. As I was heading back, we got notified from the server that it was about to shut down. Then as we got there, everything kind of froze. Damn it. The server went down. This is really bad. Bad timing. This is terrible timing. 1 second, we'll be right back. When we spawned back in, we saw a bunch of damage numbers. My Mongo was alive, and so were we. But it seems like I got too close to this Celestial Fire Wyvern. The entire server wiped, so that Ice Wyvern from before is gone. But conveniently, there was still some Celestial Wyverns in this trench. Wait, I think that's a different one. I actually wanted to tame a Celestial Fire Wyvern over the Celestial Ice Wyvern. Now, I don't need this Wyvern for any particular reason other than the fact that it will give us some eggs, but also I want to pay homage to my first ever playthrough in Primal Fear. The first time I ever played Primal Fear, we had a Celestial Fire Wyvern that we named Sonya. She looks just like her. Oh my god. So I went ahead and named this Celestial Fire Wyvern Sonya V3. I'm going to need some Celestial eggs eventually, so there's no point in me keeping it out. I put it away in a soul ball and kept it in the soul terminal so it'll produce us some Celestial eggs. Day 72, and it's time to start preparing for our big fight against the Spirit Guardian. Again, I'm not going to have just one little area full of all my army of dinos. I made sure to spread them out so they don't get one-shot by the Spirit Guardian. So without further ado, it's time to summon in the Spirit Guardian. Here we go. I hate this fight, guys. I hate it. I kited the Spirit Guardian over to our first wave of Mongos, and they all got one shot. I made sure to use my Cocoon attack to drop this Wyvern out of the sky, then dropped my ultimate attack so it could do some damage. This fight is going to be brutal. Spirit Guardian. After multiple deaths in this brutal fight, I had to rethink my strategy. The Spirit Guardian was stuck in this little crevice down there, and I figured by using the Reaper Empress's ranged attack, we could do some damage. Now, this strategy was effective in the sense that it kept us alive, but I think honestly, most of the time, the big damage was to the Spirit Guardian's minions, not the actual Spirit Guardian. So although this looked like it was an effective strategy, it really wasn't. I did try to reposition to see if this helped. It really didn't. It had been quite a while, and I remembered our Mongo with the special saddle was down there. I needed to try and get down there to try and get some of the saddles. Any ones would do. My goal right now is just to get that saddle back. I didn't really care about defeating the Spirit Guardian right now. It got to a point where I'm pretty sure the saddle was gone. I just had to fight the Spirit Guardian. Once again, this fight was dragging on for quite a while. I needed to rethink my strategy again. I had an idea, but I'm gonna need the help of this Thorny Dragon. It's really all about positioning. We need to get the Spirit Guardian in a spot where we can do most of our damage. And I saw some of the people on the server fighting the Spirit Guardian earlier in a particular place. I wasn't having much luck on my Thorny Dragon, so we switched out to our Mongo. We had been fighting this thing for a couple hours already. We really needed to start doing something. I managed to get the Spirit Guardian to follow me. Finally. And I got it exactly where I wanted it. My goal is to get it pinned in between right here. Inconvenient timing, but we did die. Come on, get out, get out, get out, get out. In the end, this ended up being a good thing because I had set up a teleporter in the prime position that we could use this demonic thorny dragon to shoot at the Spirit Guardian and take it out. It was far enough away that it will keep the aggro trying to kill me, but it couldn't actually get to me. Oh my god. We found the strat. It's stuck in between the things and I can stand here and shoot. And this is working perfect. This strategy was a success. It only took us 4 days to figure this out, but we finally managed to take out the Spirit Guardian. The only thing is, I was kind of worried that we weren't close enough for this to count for us. But when I saw this on the screen, I knew that we were safe. Out of all the boss fights in Primal Fear, I still have to say the Spirit Guardian is one of the hardest. I am glad that that's over and done with and we can just move on. I am sad that we did lose our best Mongo saddle. So now we have to craft up primitive ones. It also would have sucked if natural causes brought a spirit or a chaos guardian to the fight. That would have made things really hard. Since losing a really good Mongo saddle, I wanted to try and get another one. That's why we're back out here fighting another one of these wandering loot bosses. It can be quite the grind fighting these wandering loot bosses, but it can also be very worth it, especially if you manage to get them to the Goliath tier. This is the fun part, because I can end its life quickly and I don't have to worry about it. But then the question remains, did we get the loot that we're after? Did we get a decent saddle or even a really good blueprint for any one of the creatures that we'll be using? I waited until I got back to base so I could filter through everything. I searched to see what alpha saddles we got, what apex saddles we got, and everything that I didn't need, I placed straight into the industrial grinder. These are all saddles for dinos that I definitely know that I'm never gonna ride. But once I grinded it all up, holy lord, we got a ton of good resources. We won't have to worry about metal for quite a while. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to get a Mongo saddle, but I suppose that's the risks that we take. Next, I looked into what I needed to be able to summon in the next tier bosses, which is Nova and Picon. Again, we're gonna need some of these origin tributes, a chaos orb, and a spirit orb. Then after that, we'll need to fight the elemental colossuses, and they require a whole bunch of tributes as well. So we're back out in the wilds hunting down creatures. This primal broodmother Listrix will be great for some primal blood. Day 77, we're farming this origin bear and collecting celestial and demonic souls. But also to break things up a little bit, there was this spirit giant bee here, and it was a level 140, so I figured I wanted to tame it since we can now craft spirit orbs. A little risky, but I went in to try and knock it out with the origin trank arrow, and the ARK gods blessed us with a miracle. The bee landed, which gave us the perfect opportunity to shoot and hit it. Now, it was going to be angry. I wanted to escape and not get killed by it. That would not be fun. Then finally, it was asleep. I didn't bring a spirit orb with me, so we have to teleport back to base so I can make one. Thankfully, I had enough resources to be able to craft one up, and I could successfully tame the spirit bee. Now, it's been a while since I played Primal Fear, so I wasn't sure if these guys were really strong or not. The chaos bee is rather strong, but is the spirit bee? That's the question. Alrighty, how much damage you gonna do? Yeah, okay, you hit pretty hard. Kinda. We threw down Goku's spirit bomb onto the ground, and with all the numbers on the screen, I assume it's pretty good. I mean, we managed to take down this artifacto, and I didn't even know he was there. Day 78, I had enough resources to craft up a chaos boss kibble. Now, you might be wondering, what chaos boss are we going to try and attempt to tame? Yes, it's the chaos broodmother Listrix. There's a level 175, and it's basically right next to my base. One, I didn't want it to get too close because its aura probably kill all of my dinos, and two, we can get our hands on another chaos boss. Origin train carriers make taming some of these tougher creatures a lot easier, but they don't protect you from demonic capros. Nope. That's not a thing. Of course, we get a powerful creature like this. I had to check it out. The sad thing was, it was hard to try and find something that would fight it. You see, everything would die before you got within range. The Chaos Aura was brutal. It also had a move that would poop out little baby Arnios. So we had our own little Arnio army following us around. They were pretty slow and didn't keep up very well, so we just continued on our way. This thing's really damn strong, but its movement is just kind of weird and janky. So I decided to head back to base, and I leave this thing out just to keep it on display. It's really cool to look at. Because times are ticking, and we need to start fighting some more bosses, which means we need to farm a whole bunch of primal blood, celestial, and demonic souls. Whilst I was out farming blood, I spotted a tamed Indom in these highlands. I was playing around. I thought I'd just try and scare him. For an extra bit of fun, I decided to get the attention of this Origin Argentavis and kite him over to the celestial Indom. Ooh, we're coming, Indom. Where you going? Where you going? It's just an Origin. You don't have to be worried about an Origin. Here. Look. Don't worry. I got you. Don't worry about it. Here, I'll deal with it. I'd never let it hurt one of my people on the server. On the plus side, even though I killed the Origin Nagi, he also got the tributes and blood. Day 79, and I summoned in a whole bunch of Origins to farm them for their tributes and blood. This many Origins and a lot of big attacks, yeah, things got kind of laggy. I also started to run low on rare flowers, so we're back over here collecting rare flowers. I was taking a look through these tech benches, specifically the extinction one, and I saw to make element dust, all I need is 1 raw metal. We can farm up a whole bunch of metal, then get a bunch of element dust that we can then turn into element. Seems like a pretty sweet deal to me. Day 80, and we're running low on alpha blood. I didn't realize we were going to be low on alpha blood. We had been collecting a lot, but we also go through a lot when we need to summon in Origins and whatnot. In the mid to late game of Primal Fear, there's a lot of repetitive fighting. As we were flying around the desert, I spotted this Primal Tech Giga, and once I killed it, I made sure to stop and pick up its blueprint. I figured this might be a cool chance to craft the tech creature. In Primal Fear, once you kill a Primal Tech creature, they will always drop a blueprint that you could then take, bring it back to the Primal Tech bench, and as long as you can craft up all of these materials and whatnot, you can then craft that creature. A lot of the things that we need to make, like this rubber and lubricant and all these kind of different parts, they require a bunch of different resources that we kind of don't have or we need to collect. It's a little bit finicky, but once we get all the pieces together, we could then craft the Primal Tech Giga. We will get to that eventually, but for now, I wanted to tame this creature. The Maywings that we had earlier in this 100 days were a lot of fun, so I assumed that a fabled Maywingercorn would be really fun. And I just so happened to notice that there was a 150 right near our base. Not only are the colors really cool, it's pretty zippy, but also it's actually quite strong. Anyways, we glided our way over to this area so we could collect some oil. We're running low on oil anyway, just for our general needs around the base, but we also need a bunch so that we can make the Primal Tech Giga. I also needed to whip up some polymer. We managed to gather some obsidian whilst we were out collecting some oil, so we just used that with the cementing paste that's already been generating in our soul terminal. This is a little bit more of a process to craft this Primal Tech Giga than I expected, but we're already committed, so we're here. Curiosity sometimes gets the better of me, even though it might cost us when we want to try and fight natural causes. This could be a good idea or a bad idea. Day 81, and we're starting to get much closer to the end of this 100 days. With that being said, I needed to speed up the production of some of these plants. Adding some more crop plots will make this happen. Fertilizer is pretty easy to come across anyway, so that's not an issue. But also, there was a special creature on the map that I had to tame. Yes, this Chaos Dodo Reaper. The simple fact that this is a Chaos boss and a Dodo Reaper, I had to tame it. It's a Dodo Reaper, so it's automatically part of the Dodo gang. But also, we've already seen that the Dodo Reapers in this game are pretty strong. I managed to shoot it with the Origin Trank Arrow and then get my face blown off by this Dodo Reaper. Holy shit. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty damn excited to tame this Dodo Reaper. After losing the Manticore earlier, I was hopeful that this Dodo Reaper is gonna be better than that was. When I arrived back to the Dodo Reaper, I saw that its torpor was dropping rapidly. Yeah, I only just realized you need 6 Chaos Boss Kibble, and that's way more than we have currently. And of course, I'm gonna have to craft more Chaos Orbs, just so that I could craft this Chaos Kibble. And some of the ingredients that I'm currently missing to be able to craft what I need are some of the elemental feathers, and once again, celestial souls. After what felt like a very long time, we managed to get enough stuff so we could make enough of these Chaos Orbs that we could then craft into the Chaos Boss Kibble. Upon returning to the Chaos Dodo Reaper, it had already woken up. We had to knock it out again. Now, thanks to these Origin Trank Arrows, this isn't too much of an issue. The main difficulty was to try and keep it aggroed onto us so that it wouldn't bury itself underground. It's always a pain in the butt when they bury themselves underground when you're trying to tame them, because it makes it really hard to access the inventory. I've been told multiple times by my Twitch chat that the Dodo Reapers are really good. We're gonna just have to test this for ourselves. I'm naming him Thanos. I mean, if he's as powerful as everyone says, I think Thanos is a suitable name. Now, the question remains, is Thanos really as strong as everyone thinks he is? It has a multitude of different attacks, and we had to learn exactly what each one did. Its ranged Chaos attack seems to hurt a lot, and it seems to do quick damage over time. This Primal Kentro didn't stand a chance. Now, this Primal Kentro, well, it kind of stuck us, and this happened. Oh crap, what happened? Did I get dismounted? Now, knowing that this Dodo Reaper is damn strong, I didn't want to lose it. And there's only really one way to guarantee that you don't lose some of these creatures in Primal Fear, and that's by breeding them. Now, Chaos and Spirit bosses are extremely rare. They barely ever spawn in, and especially not of different genders or levels or whatever you need to be able to do it. That's okay though, we have another method to be able to breed them. First, I need to place down a bunch of foundations so that I could place down this, the S+ cloning chamber. Yes, my plan is to clone this Thanos and then start breeding it. The only thing is, how expensive is this? Admittedly, that's actually really cheap. You see, with the metal that we've already gathered, we've been turning that into element dust. And then element dust, we can turn into element shards. We can also turn normal element into element shards as well in the tech replicator. And in no time, we had enough element shards so we could clone this Thanos. It does take a little bit of time for it to actually work, so we'll return at a later time when it's done. For now, we can still be productive by summoning a whole bunch of Origin dinos and killing them. Not only are we gathering more tributes, but we're also rubbing it in natural causes' face place that we can kill his little pets easily. Day 83, and we're still murdering all the creatures that we need to. You can call me the Dino Assassinator. Whilst I was at base, I heard a big flaming noise outside. And when I ran outside, I saw my Chaos Reapers are done. This made me forget about the flame noise. I immediately soulballed them and then placed them in the S+ propagator. Honestly, I'm starting to think that this little process here is a bit OP, but I don't really care. It's there and it's available, so I'm using it. Damn, it breeds. The propagator's OP. Anyways, we really need to start fighting some of these bosses. Time is going to slip away from us really quickly. Moving on to Nova, Picon, and Skynet. They require a lot of resources just to be able to summon them in. And same goes with any of the Colossuses as well. We need to fight Nova and Picon over and over again just so we can summon in 4 different variations of the Colossus bosses as well. If we seriously want a chance at defeating natural causes on day 100, we really need to weaken his forces. That's why I put a clown mask on. No, not really. I just found it in the inventory and I thought it might be funny. Anyways, remember a little bit earlier when I was making that Primal Tech Giga? Well, it's made now, and I have a saddle for it. I also boosted it with some of these things that you can make in the Primal Tech bench. Anyways, I was curious to see if this thing was going to be strong enough to help us out in these fights moving forward. And admittedly, it is pretty strong, but it's not stronger than what we already have. This would have been handy like 20-30 days ago, but for now, it's probably not going to assist us very well. Day 84, and it's time to fight Nova. So I teleport over to the boss fighting arena, but once I arrive, I hear this noise. Ooh, 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 what is that? Someone's here. Someone's killed something already. Oh, there's dead bodies around. There's a Mongo. That's not my Mongo. That's someone else's. Somebody's here. It seems as though somebody else is fighting a boss around here. And by the sounds of it, it sounds like it could be the Spirit Guardian. And it might actually be quite close. What gives me that impression? This. Oh, damn. Where the frick did you come from? I waited a little while and then returned. Once I had returned, there was no one fighting anything here. Now it was time to summon in Nova. But I had a little strategy I wanted to try and implement before summoning him in. Our goal right now is to try and get Nova in this little crack. We get Nova down in the crack, we're actually at a massive advantage. But if he summons in a weird spot, he might mesh. Now, hopefully this works. I summon him in and he doesn't seem to quite land exactly where we need him to. I power up to make sure that I don't get killed off the back of my Mongo, and then I charge in to try and get its attention to try and make him slip into the little crack. This has turned out to be a little trickier than I had hoped. So I figured this was the perfect time to get out one of my brand new baby Dodo Reapers. And whilst I was getting the Dodo Reaper out and leveling it up, Nova fell into one of the cracks. But of course, Nova's quite powerful and should never be underestimated. We died. I went to return, but I accidentally teleported to the wrong place, right underneath the bottom of a Dodorexy. Thankfully, my armor kept us from getting burnt alive, and my Mongo helped us out defeating this Dodorex. I returned back to Nova on the back of my Mongo, and then I whistled the Chaos Dodo Reaper to go and fight. I figured maybe with the help of the Dodo Reaper and riding on the back of this Mongo, we could defeat Nova quicker. That didn't go to plan very well. Maybe multiple Mongos can help us out. So with the orange and blue flock of pigeons, we charged on into fight. They went down faster than Japanese fighter jets in World War II. Nova the Destroyer is truly testing our patience. It also has the ability to ground us when we're on the back of this Mongo, which inevitably always leads to our death. Look, fighting Nova, I did expect to die a whole bunch of times. It is what it is. It's Nova the Destroyer. That's why breeding is so damn important in Primal Fear. Without these bred dinos, we would be back at square one already. And because we have multiple of them, their lives are meaningless to us. When they die, it doesn't matter. They're not going to get gravestones, but they certainly helped us out. 28 million health remaining, 20 million health remaining, 5 million. We're about to defeat Nova. I swoop in for the final attack, and Nova is gone. Boss fights just get harder and harder. When you defeat Nova the Destroyer, he drops an egg. We had defeated Nova the Destroyer, but it wasn't quite over. No. As I was flying away, I saw this big green ball in the distance. Someone had summoned in a caustic Colossus. I floated high in the sky watching this battle take place. This is Caged. He's fighting his caustic boss, and he has a pretty smart strategy, honestly. If you get the Colossus right down in this little hole here, your Chaos Rex can just stand up here safely and shoot down. I wanted to help out with my shotgun. It has 2.3 billion health. My shotgun wasn't really helping with 6,000 damage each hit. Once it went down, I tried to swoop in and steal his stuff. Psych, I wasn't doing that. I was just here to tease him. We're now back at base because we have to get back to work immediately. We only have 15 days until Natural Causes arrives and ruins our entire life. I need to defeat more of these bosses. And the later end bosses that we need to defeat, they require a lot of tributes to be able to summon them in, which is why we're starting with fighting the Celestial Indominus Emperor again. Once we defeated the Emperor, we had to move straight on and lag our entire PC, destroying Origin bosses. And oh my lord, this Chaos Dodo Reaper is an absolute weapon. Since defeating Nova, we had now unlocked the Primal Tech Force Field. This is like a normal tech shield, but much bigger and a lot stronger. It's kind of like going from a little water balloon all the way to a magnum. if you know what I mean. I've been told that apparently if you can get your hands on a spirit or a chaos saddle, you can grind them up to get a bunch of celestial and demonic souls. And as far as I know, the only way that I can possibly get some of those saddles is by killing wandering loot bosses. And obviously only the highest tier version. I forgot to power up in this instance, and yeah, I got burnt alive. Ooh, he killed me. It's okay though, we returned and exploded in his face and then got all the loot. Unfortunately, we didn't manage to get a spirit saddle, but we did manage to get a Chaos Rex saddle. And this put us in a sticky situation. You see, I could actually use this saddle since we have a Chaos Rex. Yeah, it also would have been nice to get a Mongo saddle since we lost the one earlier. It is what it is. That's the risk we have to take whenever we take on the loot bosses. Either way, we have our very own Nova the Destroyer now. The egg that dropped earlier, we incubated and it's now fully grown up. We got a pretty decent saddle too. You get that when you kill Nova the Destroyer. Before taking Nova out for a little bit of a spin, I wanted to check something. I needed to see what I needed to be able to summon in Pickon. Looks like we only need one single Celestial Soul. There was a poor helpless Celestial Direbear near our base. Correction, there was a Celestial Direbear near our base. We now have everything we need to summon in Pickon or Skynet. I wonder which one we'll choose. For this particular fight, I had to set up a little army. Fighting this particular boss, we're going to need a little bit of help. I then flew around a little bit to try and find the perfect place to summon this boss in. Okay, enough with all the suspense. It was Pickon. We're summoning in Pickon. Pickon the Creator, an overgrown flying fish. This boss also has an attack that will ground us. Once cocooned, we can't really do much at all. He also has an ability that deals radiation damage over time. Even when Mongo is fully powered up, I still receive damage off the back of this bird. Damn, it's laggy. We are lagging, chat. The lag was so brutal, but there is a way to fix it. If we turn off our HUD, it kind of fixes it, but it also comes with its risks. See, I don't know what the is happening. I can't. Anyways, I returned back into this fight and Pickon was stuck in this little crevice right here. It was so big and fat that it looked like it couldn't get out. Once again, the lag got real. Oh my lord, the lag, bro. I can't even tell what's happening. It's okay though. If we do lose this fight, I can just blame it on the lag like everyone else does. Once again, returning to Pickon, but he's in a different location now. How? Oh yeah, that time was definitely lag. Definitely lag, yep. Even though it seems like we're getting our butt absolutely kicked here, we've done quite a bit of damage to Pickon. He's almost dead. I dropped this attack on him, hoping to end him. And as we were cocooned and damaged, we got notified that we had defeated Pickon the Creator. Now to just deal with this annoying little pest minions. Wait, did it not count because I wasn't in the area? Oh, it did. It did. Hey, we got the creator tech gear. The creator tech gear is actually pretty damn dope. You get a full set when you kill Pickon. Again, if you're not aware what it is, it's just tech gear, but it does give you some extra buffs. Like no fall damage. We can now fly like this. We heal over time and we don't require oxygen when we're underwater. There's a bunch of other things too, but you get it. Day number lucky 88 and we're out on Nova killing things. I had to turn off the particle effects though. I was afraid it was going to lag us up a bit. I had a whole bunch of origin summons to summon in. This would be a good way to test out Nova's real power. He deletes these creatures faster than a teenager deletes their search history. Although Nova is fun, it's too risky running around on him. We're going to need him for later battles. We have plenty of spare Mongos so we can risk their lives, especially when we're just farming all of these bosses again. I do have spare Dodo Reapers so I could play around on them for a while. That could be fun. We need a whole bunch of these origin tributes, like a ridiculous amount. It's kind of crazy. We need the tributes so we can summon in the Celestial Emperor and the Demonic Reaper. Then we also need them so that we can summon in more Nova the Destroyers and more Pickon the Creators, just so we could summon in one single Colossus. Also, don't forget, we're going to need a whole bunch of artifacts as well. Basically, if we saw an artifactor, a Celestial, or a demonic creature, they died. They had to be dead. Absolutely murderous. Since we need a whole bunch of these Celestial and Demonic souls as well, I figured we'd try our luck again at trying to kill one of these loot bosses to be able to get another saddle so that we can grind it down and get a whole bunch of souls. We managed to get this loot boss all the way up to the Goliath level. I charge on in and destroy it with one hit, but then something strange happens. Oh, whoa! What is that? We were killed by a wandering tyrant hoarder. Now, I have heard about these before. Apparently, once you kill a Goliath loot boss, there's a chance that this will spawn in. They are extremely strong, but apparently they drop awesome loot. You're like a crazy skeleton Rex. Yes, this is like a Karen version of the skeleton Rex. It just wants to yell at everything. And it's seriously strong. Even my Mongo was struggling to do damage to it. I mean, it still was damaging it, but it was almost on the same level as some of the bosses we have been fighting. Yeah, like this thing kicked my butt. God damn it. He also killed our Mongo. The problem is that Mongo had all of the loot that we had gotten from the Goliath loot boss. Now we needed to try and kill the tyrant before it killed us and try and get that loot back. That's tough, bro. Come on, let me fly. Fucking bro, what am I supposed to do? We have a whole bunch of Mongos, but we might run out eventually. The amount of times they die is kind of crazy. The next time, I only had one mission. Our focus was to dive on in and attack. This was actually quite inconvenient. There was a massive chance that we were going to lose all of that loot. All that loot that we'd gotten from the Goliath loot boss, and the possible loot that comes from the Tyrant as well. We needed to get back quickly. I teleported to this sap tap because I knew it was kind of close. No! Fuck. Yeah, my stupid ass accidentally brought a juvenile Mongo. Thankfully, we have a massive jetpack on our back and we could just fly over there that way. When we arrived, we found Mongo's egg and his saddle, but it wasn't the Mongo we needed with all the loot. We got chased around by these annoying baboons, but then I heard the noise of a Reaper, a Dodo Reaper of all things. Thankfully, we were wearing some pretty powerful armor and had a decent shotgun. This wasn't too much of an issue. But now I really needed to find this loot. What if it had something special, something crazy, something amazing that we never had before? Since the bags are brown, I changed some of the settings so we could see the bags a little bit easier. Basically, I just got rid of all the grass. It didn't get rid of this Omega Reaper though. No. At least this next trip, I brought a Mongo with us and could destroy all the wild animals that were around here that were pestering us while we're trying to find our loot bag. It's day 91 and I'm not giving up until I find some of this loot. It could have despawned by now, I don't know, but I need to know what's happened. Of course, I found it, but this Omega Reaper was guarding it. Kind of inconvenient if you ask me. I need that. There's a Spirit Rex saddle. I need that stupid freaking thing go away, bro. I need that. Stupid bitch, that's what you get. I got a bird coming to my rescue. We managed to get our bag of loot back, but this was the bag that was on the Mongo earlier. I still need to find the loot that should drop from the Tyrant Hoarder. I knew time was running out. I knew this bag would despawn any moment now. I ran around the ground everywhere, all the places that I expected that it should have dropped, but I just couldn't find it. I searched and searched for the longest time, and then I came to the realization that it's been too long. It's definitely gone. And we're really starting to run out of time. Natural causes will be here in only 9 days, and we still have a whole bunch of bosses to kill before he gets here. Out of the saddles we got, we managed to get a Goliath Spirit Rex saddle. Once grinded up, we got 12 Celestial Souls. Yes, I also did hear that noise. I thought it was right outside my base, but I think whenever a Colossus is spawned in on the map, you can hear it. Anyways, no messing around. We need to fight some more bosses before Natural Causes gets here and decimates us. So to do that, I need to summon in some more Origins to fight them to get their tributes, and I might as well hatch a bunch of these Mongos as well, so we're ready for this fight. Day 92, and our boy Caged asked for a little bit of help. Thankfully, I was already in the desert fighting this Artifact of the Great. So I just flew up to his little Colossus fighting ledge, got my Chaos Dodo Reaper out and started shooting. Just for rule's sake of the video, this doesn't count towards me fighting any of these bosses. I'm just helping someone out. It doesn't count. Once we both defeated this Colossus, I went straight down and summoned this in. I thought it would be funny. Nova wasn't supposed to be up here. Nova was supposed to go in the crack, but he didn't. I had everything I needed to summon in Nova. I need to fight them multiple times so I can summon in the Colossus bosses. And I thought this might be funny if I dropped it on the other guy's head. Nova was a lot easier to take down this time, and I'm pretty sure the Caged was with us helping us out. Again, I got too close and I died. With the others here, I figured it might be funny if I drop a couple Origins in this little crack area here. This particular RG got stuck in this rock. The other Origins I spawned out here. This is where I had some demonic thorny dragons that I left here ages ago. I kind of forgot about them. I figured they could help me fight some Origins. The desert was a weird place to summon in Origins. Some of them kept getting meshed into the side of walls and stuff. That's why we just came back to here, the swamp area. Nice open space to summon them in so they can all die in peace. We had collected a whole bunch of these Origin tributes, but even though it looks like it might be a lot, it's really not. We need to kill a Nova and a Picon for each one of these Colossuses. It's a whole process just to summon in one Colossus boss to fight. Then from there, we have the final tier of bosses to fight after that. Day 93, and it's time to summon in our first Colossus boss. The first Colossus that I chose to fight was the Fire Colossus. I wanted to try and get one of the tougher Colossuses out of the way early. I didn't quite get this Colossus in the little crack that I'm supposed to get him in. I'm gonna have to use this Mongo to try and kite him down into there, and it seemed to have worked. Well, from the angle that we were at, I thought it did, but it didn't. Either way, we're actually doing some damage to him. Get in that hole, bro. That's where we want ya. Okay, now that he's down in this little crack here, I did one of my big attacks, landed on our little cliff face here, and began to set up with our Chaos Dodo Reaper to fight this Colossus boss. Well, I figured I'd whistle the Chaos Dodo Reaper in to fight, whilst I ride Mongo. The Colossus was distracted with our Dodo Reaper, which gave me an opportunity to swoop in and drop our major attack. Our Chaos Dodo Reaper hadn't died yet. It had stayed alive. I don't know exactly what's happening, but I'm glad we're winning. This might have been the winning strategy, so I got 2 more Dodo Reapers out and whistled them in to fight as well. When they jumped into this ravine, I kind of noticed that they jumped quite far away, and whether they were actually fighting or not, I actually don't know. But because they were within the area, they were dealing chaos damage anyway. Oh, No, they were fighting. They died. Mongo's proving to be one of the best tames. You can pick him up really early as long as you can kill him. And he's carrying us through some of these later boss fights. We were doing quite a bit of damage. It was now time to lock in so we can finish the job. Dropped our final attack and let the damage work over time. We had just defeated the Fire Colossus, our first Colossus boss. Even though we just defeated our first Colossus boss, we had no time to celebrate. We needed to get back so we could start grinding so we could summon in more bosses. First things first, we need Celestial Souls. Every Celestial creature on this map has to die. Some of them are a little bit more protective than I expected though. My bad. As we close into the end of this 100 days, I had to confirm exactly what I needed to be able to summon in some of these bosses. Picon's Revenge and Nova's Revenge, they're going to cost a lot, and I'm not sure we're going to get through them. I'm really worried that Natural Causes is going to bring them to the fight, and if he does, I'm not sure what will happen. Okie croaky, we need to get a bunch of origins, and funnily enough, there's heaps of origins on the map. Yes, so this day, day 94, we hunted down a lot of origins. We needed all of their tributes. If we managed to bump into a primal along the way, well, they had to get taken out as well. Their blood is valuable. Day 95 and we're flying over to this Celestial Therizino. I don't know if this is really the smartest decision because this might be taking up some valuable time that we do not have. But my goal is to tame this Celestial Therizino. It's a pretty high level and I wonder if it's better than our fabled Therizino. In theory, it might help us farm blood, which we need a lot of from all the tiers of dinos. As soon as I got this Therizino back to base, I put one of these Goliath saddles that I'd gotten from one of the loot bosses earlier and put it to work. We need a whole bunch of stuff. You know, feathers, blood, souls, stuff that we need so we can summon in more bosses. Now this Therizino hits really hard and kills some creatures quite easily, but I actually don't think it's any better than our fabled Theri at gathering resources. I pump a whole bunch of levels into its delicate harvesting to see if that helps, like the whole 88 levels. Now we definitely gather more resources than we did previously, but I think our fabled Theri actually still harvests more. Maybe it's something to do with just the fabled tier. It's an interesting thing though. Either way, the Celestial Theri is still better at killing. I then do another check to see what I need to be able to summon in Picon. Looks like we need to summon in some more origin bosses. Again, thankfully we collected enough blood that we might not need to worry about the blood situation for a while. So day 96, we got to work killing origins. We literally did this the entire day. Eventually, I summoned in 2 Celestial Indominus Rex Emperors. I was confident we would defeat them both. Finally, I summoned in 1 single Demonic Reaper Empress. I wasn't about to do 2 of these at once. We already know that they're hard because I can't power up. Day 97, we summoned in even more of these lag-infested bosses until it was time to head back over to the desert once again and summon in Picon the Creator. These fights are always pretty damn tough, especially when you're trying to use a flyer to defeat them. But when you have to fight Picon and he's a flyer, it can be difficult, unless you can get him stuck inside one of these little crevices. Then it's just a matter of trying to avoid his minions and then time. Because if we can land one of these big attacks and all of that damage is concentrated in one spot, we do a lot of damage. The last time we fought Picon, I forgot to pick up his egg. This time, I made sure to grab it. Now, what are we missing to be able to summon in the next Colossus? Only a Chaos and a Spirit Orb, both of which I could craft, which means it's now time to go and fight the next boss. So day 98, we did exactly that. The next Colossus boss I summoned in was the Electric Colossus. This is easily one of the hardest Colossus bosses to fight. Uh-oh. Don't land here. Land in the hole. Oh, shit. So I wanted to try and get him out of the way to make sure that Natural Causes did not have any advantages. This is proof that he's hard. I'm not very skilled at getting this Colossus to land exactly where I need him to. So once again, I'm just going to have to use my Mongo to get its attention and get him into this little hole. Wait, is my Chaos thing stunning it? Yeah, I may have died, but I think my Chaos Dodo Reaper is still down there. Hey, I'm going to use my advantages when I can in this game, especially at this late game. It's time to defeat this Electric Colossus. Did we find a cheese method for the Electric Colossus? Why is nothing happening? They're like a stalemate. They're not gonna fight. They're friends now or something. Honestly, this fight wasn't very exciting at all. The Electric Colossus is one of the tougher Colossus bosses to fight, but it's completely stunned. Maybe it's in awe of my amazingness. Too easy. And there we have it. We had now defeated another Colossus boss. Thanos, you're my good luck charm, bro. Give him a good luck charm, Thanos. It's now day 99. And yes, I realized Natural Causes is going to be here tomorrow. I had to switch my focus. I didn't have enough time to be able to get the stuff together to be able to summon in some more bosses to fight them. So instead, we're going to have to prepare ourselves. I placed down a bunch of turrets from the Primal Fear mod and filled them up with a whole bunch of ammunition. I then grabbed all of my dinos that were strong enough to possibly fight out of their soul balls and placed them all around my base. If there were any holes in my base that I needed to plug up just to try and add some more defense, I did that too. I don't know what dinos will be effective against the remaining bosses, but I sure hope we'll survive this fight. Before this fight began, I summoned in some people to help me out. Some of the community members were coming in to help with this fight. I'm gonna need all the help I can get, but I also think that they might betray me. Bro, how dare you guys? We're fighting Nat and you've got Nat's chibi.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I can, yeah.
Some of them brought some pretty powerful creatures to this fight. We actually might stand a chance. I think we're now prepared to fight Natural Causes. It's now day 100 and Natural Causes has arrived.
I've already started making my way there.
He's making his way from the top of the map all the way to our base. We need to stop him in his tracks.
Rip whoever's Mongo that was.
I just got a notification. I got a notification. He's here, he's here, he's here. I raced as fast as I could to try and catch up to Natural Causes, but he was quite a distance away. Oh, I just got grounded. He must be close. Flying on Mongo was no longer an option, so now I just rely on my jetpack. Oh, whoa! I just saw missiles coming down. I think we have found Natural Causes. And as the great man himself, KSI, once said, I think he's in the thick of it. I don't know why I'm just shooting. This is such a bad idea. I don't know.
I'm stuck in the water.
Oh, no!
I killed Aaron. The enchanted toaster's here.
This certainly proved to be a problem, because as I had to respawn all the way back at base and then try and find a way to fly back over, Natural Causes will be getting closer and closer to my base.
Who based here? Let's go see if there's a base here.
We were getting close and ready to engage for a second time. Thankfully, some of the community members were holding it down with their dinos. I was not very much help right now. Whoever was riding this Nova was really clutching it up for us right now.
Well, yeah, just Skynet. So you would have thought Nova would be the right choice.
I can't attack. I'm stun locked.
Coming. I can see stuff. Where is he? Is he inside?
We're at the castle. No, we're on the outside of the castle.
On the outside of the castle?
Fighting two Novas? Yeah, I'm gonna get out of there.
I see you guys. Wait, I'm following you. I'm assuming.
Wait,
Where is he? Oh, there. There he is!
Oh my god, he's flying. That's not fair.
It's a dragon!
I fly.
No! Holy crap!
The Chaos Dodo Reapers died instantly.
No.
Once I had respawned, I returned to one of my descended thorny dragons. Wow, that didn't last long. We may have died, but so did Skynet.
You killed my Skynet. I'll bring in the next thing.
Oh, I see it. I can see it spawned in from where I'm at.
Oh shit, I see that now. Hey, I just want to let you know, you had a good run.
The perma-stun is real. Oh.
As a group, we were all destroying the hell out of this ice Colossus. Of course, Natural Causes wasn't liking this very much, so he summoned in his next Colossus.
So, you can take on one. What about two?
Oh, crap! Even with a whole group of us, fighting two Colossuses at once was tough. But it seems like we're about to defeat one of the Colossuses.
Oh, no, the Ice Colossus is going down.
God! Whoa. I didn't even see it go. It went 50 million and then dead. Now, with us only having to fight the Caustic Colossus, we singled it out, kept it stunned, and tried to destroy it. Then, there we go. Oh, just as I got cocooned. With us now defeating all of the elemental bosses, that leaves the next tier of bosses, which will make things rather interesting. Oh, shit. There he is. Go, 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 go,
Yeah,
go, 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 go.
Really now.
This is not going to go well. Oh, that noise. We got 100 million down.
You guys might be taking me down, but I'm taking Aaron's base down with me.
No! I just got grounded. I'm stuck inside you. No!
Rip Aaron.
No! 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 And he's got all my stuff because he punched me dead. Having a player-controlled Picon's Revenge trying to destroy my shield is terrifying.
B5 I'm coming to kill the Australian man.
What? Whistle! Whistle! Whistle's not working! It's working!
For the record, I can't see anything because of the chaos effect. So I'm just seeing a black screen. I'm just clicking buttons.
Don't worry, there's yeah, I can see a lot. It's nice, but I have no idea if it's working. Oh my god, my screen just turned red.
Dude, he's dead?
He's in! He's in! Kill him! He's gonna destroy my base! Kill him! I was now riding my Nova the Destroyer, hoping this would defeat him. All of my dinos were dying. My base was getting destroyed. This was chaos. Ah! Everything was destroyed. Natural causes had gotten in and he was destroying everything. My base is in absolute ruins. My turrets weren't really doing very much, but it looks like Natural Causes was having the time of his life. The community members were still fighting Picon's Revenge, but ultimately it was futile. We had lost this fight and were ultimately defeated. Natural Causes was the victor in this battle, but we will get him next time. I want to give a special shout out to all the community members that helped me out in this fight and all of my Patreon members, Twitch subscribers, and YouTube members. Thank you for supporting me and all of my content. If you did like this video, please do me a massive favor, hit that like button and subscribe button. Now we're on to our next adventure. Where will we land? Until next time, peace.